A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Trap by Finn O'Donovan.
Samish, I am in need of some assistance. The situation is potentially dangerous, so come at once. It shows how right you were, Samish, old friend. I never should have trusted a Terran. What a sorry mess, Samish, and the plot seemed so foolproof.
Hey, Thurston, get up. Get up, come on.
Why? What's the matter? Why?
Come on, it's daybreak.
Now, there's good news. Let me alone.
Oh, come on. You don't want to sleep through our vacation. The bird's on the wing.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning in the Adirondacks is the middle of the day.
What's the weather out?
Oh, it's raining.
For crying out loud.
Oh, don't go back to sleep.
It always rains on the first day of vacation. Rule of nature.
Look, I got a little fly rod with a new plastic reel, and I'm just dying to
what
try
the
it.
trouble with you is, Ed, you're in love with sporting goods equipment.
Oh, now, wait till you see this rod.
Now, take that rifle I sold you. You could shoot a rhinoceros with it, but you won't, because, Ed, you're essentially a friendly man.
The trouble with you is you don't like the woods.
Well, how can you say that? Don't I come with you on a hunting trip every year?
Sure, but you always manage to steer us over to Lake Placid to the cocktail lounges.
Ah, now there's real hunting. Now, there are trophies to bring back to the city. None of your paltry brown bears or black bears.
Oh, come on now, Thurston. I came up here to the mountains to hunt.
Have a drink.
Well, it's awfully early in the morning.
Well, look upon it as an extension of last night.
Well, all right. Oh. Think it'll stop raining?
No, who cares?
Well, come on now. Get dressed. It's a perfect day out there in the woods for bear.
It certainly is. That's why I want to stay right here in the cabin. Ed.
What?
Pass the canteen?
It's empty.
Well, open up one of the bottles and pour it in.
Why don't you take it straight from the bottle?
What, on a camping trip? Pour it into the canteen.
Okay.
Hey. Now, this is what I call a hunting trip.
Well, you haven't been outside the cabin. Oh, come on, Thurston. Can't we go out just to hunt something, even if it's just a little rabbit? Look. It stopped raining.
Now, close the door. Now, you let some of the fumes out. Did you fill that canteen yet?
Hey, look at this.
What?
Right by the door.
How many times have I told you not to leave your collapsible cook stove where I can step on it in the night?
It isn't.
What is it?
I don't know. It's made out of metal. It's just sitting here in the doorway. It says, trap on the top.
What?
Trap.
Where'd you buy that?
I didn't.
Well, I certainly didn't.
Hey, there's a tag on it. Dear friend, this is a new and revolutionary design in a trap. To introduce the trap to the general public, we are giving you this model absolutely free. You will find it a unique and valuable device for the capture of small game, provided you follow precisely the directions on the other side. Good luck and good hunting. Well, now, what do you think of that?
Pass me the canteen.
If this isn't the strangest thing, do you suppose it was left during the night?
Who cares?
Well, aren't you interested?
Not particularly. It's just another gadget. I've got 100 like it. That bear trap from Abercrombie and Fitch, the jaguar horn from Battlers, the crocodile lure.
Well, I've never seen a trap like this. It's pretty clever advertising to just leave it here.
Well, they'll bill you for it eventually. You care for the canteen?
Oh, thanks. Hey, look at this thing, Thurston.
Do I have to?
Well, there are instructions on the other side. Quote, take the trap to a clearing and anchor it to any convenient tree with the attached chain. Here's the chain, all right. Press button 1 on the base. This primes the trap. Wait 5 seconds and press button 2. This activates the trap. Nothing more is required until a capture has been effected. Then press button 3 to deactivate and open the trap and remove the prey. Warning, keep the trap closed at all times except when removing the prey.
That's goofy.
No opening is required for the prey's ingress, since the trap works on the principle of osmotic suction and inducts the prey directly into the trap.
Well, somebody's been at that canteen before us.
No, that's what it says. What won't they think of next? Osmotic suction.
Pass the canteen back.
I'm going to set it.
What, the canteen?
No, the trap. Come on, help me.
Now that's the trouble with you, Ed. You're always cluttering up a hunting trip with hunting.
Come on, take this in.
All right. If it makes you any happier. Hey, boy, it's cold.
Come on, we'll carry it over to that tree.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Here, let's put it down here.
You think we really ought to fool with it?
Of course. Maybe we can catch a fox.
What will we do with a fox?
Turn it loose. The fun is in the catching. Here, take the end of the chain.
Hey, look out. You got your foot in it.
Yeah, I guess it snaps in here. Oh, there it is.
Let's get back to the cabin. The great outdoors depresses me.
Wait a minute. I've got to press button 1.
Hey, it's glowing.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Now button 2.
Well,
I guess we just leave it.
Well, come on back to the cabin.
All right. It is time for breakfast.
It certainly is. Pass it to me and don't spill it.
Samish, where are you? You are my oldest friend. I have already been you the beginning of my story. The Terrans accepted my trap as a trap, nothing more, and they began using it at once with no thought as to the consequences. I had counted on this. The fantastic curiosity of the species is well known. During this period, my wife was crawling giddily around the planetoid, redecorating our hutch and enjoying the change from city life. Everything was going well.
Ed.
What?
It's your turn.
Okay, here we go. Ready on the right.
Ready on the left.
The flag is up.
The flag is waving.
Target's up.
You missed.
Oh, Thurston, couldn't we just pull the cork out instead of trying to shoot off the neck?
Oh, certainly not. This is a hunting trip. You can pull a cork off in the city.
I have often corked off in the city.
Ed, why don't you shut your trap?
Trap. Why don't... Thurston, the trap.
What about it?
Maybe we caught something. Come on.
Where you going?
The trap. There, look. We got something. We've caught something. Come on, look inside.
What is it, huh?
It's a rabbit.
You sure?
Well, look at it.
That is not exactly a rabbit, Ed.
It's the size of a rabbit.
But it's bright green. Ed, no more rum before breakfast.
No, siree.
Starting tomorrow, hand me the canteen.
What do you think it is?
Could be a rabbit.
Green? With lobster claws? And eyes on stalks?
Well, then again, it might not be a rabbit.
I think it's a new species. We'll have to build a cage and then find out what it eats.
As long as it doesn't drink. You don't suppose it drinks, does it?
No, it doesn't look like a drinking type.
No, I'm not going to share my vacation with a green rabbit with lobster claws. Probably has dirty habits. There's something very unnatural about that trap. It's inhuman.
I'll bet they said that about Ford's electric light and Edison's car and the telephone invented by Alexander's ragtime band.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, sure. I saw the movie. Come on. We'll build a cage, and then we'll set the trap again.
Okay, but we better go back to the cabin.
What for?
We better refill that canteen.
Why haven't you come yet? Samish, don't you appreciate the seriousness of my situation? Think of your old friend. Think of the lustrous-skinned freakle for whose sake I got into this mess. Communicate with me, at least. The Terrans used a trap, which, of course, was not a trap at all, but a matter transmitter. I had the other end concealed on the planetoid and fed into it 3 small animals which I found in the garden. The Terrans removed them from the transmitter each time. For what purpose, I couldn't guess, but a Terran will keep anything. After the 3rd beast passed through and had not been returned, I knew that was all, and that everything was in readiness, so I prepared for the 4th and final sending, the all-important one, for which all else was mere preparation.
Ouch. Well, that finishes the cage.
You know what?
No. What?
Those things smell. All 3 of them.
Oh, I think they're very handsome. Well, here they are. 1, 2, and 3. First, our green rabbit. Next, our bird with 3 sets of scaly wings. And this other thing, what does it look like?
Well, it looks like a snake. Except it has a head at each end. They eaten anything yet?
No, I've tried milk, mincemeat, vegetables, caviar, potato chips. They haven't touched a thing.
Maybe they're sick. Hey, what are you keeping them for?
Well, they might come in handy someday.
Oh, yeah? What for?
Thurston, have you ever desired fame?
What?
Fame. The knowledge that your name will go down through the ages.
I am a businessman. I've never considered the possibility.
Never?
What do you have in mind?
These creatures are unique.
And they smell.
We'll present them to a museum. The daily Thurston exhibit of creatures hitherto unknown.
They might name them after us. Our names will go down with Livingston, Audubon, Teddy Roosevelt, Walt Disney.
I was thinking of a wing on the Museum of Natural History that would go right across Central Park West. The Daily Thurston Wing.
Thurston Daily.
That's not alphabetical.
That's true. But, Ed, we only got 3 of them. We can't equip a wing with 3 exhibits.
Well, there must be more where these came from. Let's examine the trap.
Just a minute.
The canteen?
The canteen.
We've got something. There it is. Look, it's about 3 feet tall. A big one.
Uh-huh. A small green head and a forked tail.
Oh, look at him, waving something on top of his head.
Well, the rest were quiet. Maybe this one's dangerous. Huh?
We'll handle it with nuts.
Nuts?
Well, nets.
Oh, nuts. All right.
And then we'll have to get in touch with the museum. Thurston, take a telegram.
All righty.
Museum of Natural History. Dear Sir.
Or Madam.
Have discovered at least 4 animals, which I suspect to be new species. Stop. Have you room for suitable exhibit? Stop. Signed, Your friend Ed.
Wasn't that signature pretty informal?
You're right. Make it, you're a good friend, Ed.
We better go back and build a cage for this latest one. It looks awfully exciting.
I think we'll make this one strong. Oh, this last specimen is the cream of our collection. Look at it. Its head is turning pink.
It looks mad, doesn't it?
Well, you'd be mad, too, if you were trapped by osmotic suction.
Say that again.
Osmotic suction.
Here, you take the canned seat. I'm way ahead of you.
What, Sammy? The rest of the story? Well, it's obvious enough. After 3 animals had passed through the transmitter, I knew I was ready. Now was the time to tell my wife. Accordingly, I asked her to crawl into the garden with me. Tell me, dear, she said, has something been bothering you of late? Have I displeased you? My dear, I said, you have tried your best, but it just isn't good enough. I'm going to take a new mate. She stood motionless, her cilia swaying in confusion. Then she exclaimed, Freagle! Yes, I told her, the glorious Freagle has consented to share my hutch, and with a clever shove, I pushed her into the matter transmitter. Sammy, you should have seen her expression. Her cilia wreathed, and she screamed and was gone. I was free at last, free to mate with the splendid Freagle. Now you can appreciate the full perfection of the scheme. It was necessary to secure the Terran's cooperation, since a matter transmitter must be manipulated at both ends. I had disguised it as a trap, because Terrans will believe anything. And, as a masterstroke, I sent them my wife. Let them try to live with her. I never could. Foolproof. Absolutely foolproof. No one could prove a thing. And then, Samish, then it happened.
Did you get the cage finished?
Yeah, our 4th animal is snug as a bug in a...
It doesn't matter.
Boy, it's a mad one, though. I couldn't help feeling it was trying to tell me something.
Come on. Here's a trap.
It's empty.
But it is. It's empty.
You suppose something's wrong with it?
Maybe there's nothing else to capture.
Oh, that's silly. Why would it capture 4 animals and then stop? I've pressed all the buttons in the right way.
Maybe the battery's down.
Osmotic suction doesn't work on batteries.
How do you know?
Did you ever hear of osmotic suction working on batteries?
No.
You see? There you are.
Why, you got something there. Oh, I know.
What?
Let's go to Lake Placid and forget the whole thing.
No, this thing's got to work. It's got to. The Thurston Daily Wing of the American Museum of Natural History is at stake. Would you want that vast edifice across Central Park West to remain empty?
No.
Would you want the Daily Thurston Wing to be rented for a garage?
Or a roller skating rink? Oh, horrors, no.
It's got to work again. I'm going to open the top.
Yeah, look out.
No, let's just see what's inside here. Ah! My hand. It's gone. My hand.
No, it isn't. It's right there on the end of your arm.
Oh, well, when I put it in the trap, my hand disappeared.
You know what would do you a lot of good? A little rest in Lake Placid. I know a fine, restful cocktail lounge.
No, look, I'll try it again with both arms. Ah, look, no hands.
Very clever.
I see how it works. Thurston, those animals didn't come from the Adirondacks at all.
You mean they're imposters?
They came from wherever my hand is.
Where's your hand?
I don't know. Do you realize there's a lot more where they come from? Thurston, the future of the Daily Thurston Wing is assured. Give me a hand up.
And what are you going to do?
I'm climbing into the trap.
Oh, don't do it, Ed. You don't know what's in there.
Here I go. There goes my feet.
Hey, wait a minute. Here's a canteen. Let's have one for the road. Huh?
All right. Wish me luck.
I still don't think you should do it.
I do it for science and the Daily Thurston Wing.
Why do you hold your nose?
I got sinus. Here I go.
Samish, if you don't come immediately, it'll be too late. I must stop beaming you. The enormous Terran has completely ransacked my little planetoid. He has shoved everything, living or dead, through the transmitter. My home is in ruins, and now he's tearing down my hutch. Samish, this monster means to capture me as a specimen. There's no time to lose. Samish, what can be keeping you? You, my oldest friend, you... What's that? Samish, what are you saying? You can't mean it. No, not you and Friedel. Reconsider, my old friend. Remember our friendship.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Deep One by Neil P. Ruzick, a story which tells of a single mistake in the plan for survival, the biggest possible mistake. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Trap, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Donald Buca as the voice, Ralph Bell as Thurston, and William Redfield as Ed. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The world on a new hotline. Listen for news on the hour in the exciting hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
Again, G47 has shown his power on Euclidia, the magic island of the South Seas. When Jerry Hall started off the homing pigeon to Johnson on the rescue boat, things looked very bright. The pigeon was released at midnight, and at 8 in the morning the Gregory party were sure that all was well, and that the pigeon had reached the other boat. As they were discussing their chances of escape in the soundproof cabin on the yacht, the mad scientist, G47, walked in with the pigeon in his hand. G47 has just left the cabin, after telling them that the pigeon was stopped by gas in the ring of fog surrounding the island.
Well, I guess that's the end of it.
Oh, Mother, is there no hope at all?
Very little, my dear. You heard what G47 said. His assistants are working now on the formula they took from the leg of that pigeon. And when they've successfully compounded it, our lives will be worth nothing.
Golly whiskers, Tex. Tex? Hey, Tex, what are you thinking about?
How to get this pigeon or the other one through that ring of fog and gas that guards the island.
But can you do it in time to be of any help, Captain? G47 and his men will be working rapidly on that formula. And when they complete it, I think it will be too late to help us then.
Oh, Tex, isn't there something we can do?
I'm afraid not. There's no chance for these birds to fly through that gas ring. They'll never fail to use the gas ring as long as they have a chance of trying anything else.
Wait a minute, Tex. You act like you're not paying any attention to us at all. Quit worrying about getting the message through to Johnson. He can't get here in time to save us anyhow.
Jerry's right, Tex. What we've got to do is try some extreme measure. Something wild and foolish if there's nothing sensible and reasonable left to do. But we've got to do something about getting off this island before those Euclideans get that formula compounded.
No hurry about that, Pat. It will take them a long time to figure it out.
Do not be too sure, Captain Bradford. G47 and those other men can do as they wish with any formula that any living man could write for them.
Hurry up, Tex. Let's try to get off this crazy island.
Take a look outside the door, Jerry. I'm going to tell you something.
It's all right to talk in here now, Tex. No one can hear us with the cabin insulated with this opaque cloth.
Probably not, but take a look anyway, kid.
Okay, Tex. all clear out there. The skipper's at one end of the passage and the engineer at the other.
All right. I'll just let the pigeon rest here on the bunk.
That beautiful little bird is so frightened. If it's hurt, we should...
Not a bit. Just some harmless gas that caused him to flutter slowly to the floor of the island. He'll be all right after he gets over his fright.
I read in your pigeon book that it upsets them when something stops them from a flight they've started out on.
Sometimes it does, but this little fellow has had accidents before. He'll be all right soon. I'll hold him here, Tex. There now, Bozeman. Feel better now? Now, Tex, the pigeon seems comfortable. Go ahead.
I suppose I should have told you before, but I thought I'd save you a lot of worry if I did the worrying for all of us. I didn't want you to realize just how much I feared old G47 and how little faith I had in that pigeon getting through the fog ring.
Well, we know the worst now, Tex.
I was afraid, Captain, that your plan was too simple to succeed against the protection on this island.
Oh, you did swell, Tex. Nobody's going to blame you when old G47 works out that formula and comes to do whatever he's going to do with us.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, kid. I've had my mind on the pigeon and can't seem to stay on the subject. But you can quit worrying about the formula. The old G47 may be mad enough to kill us anyway when he discovers that he hasn't got it.
What do you mean, Tex? Did you put the formula in code?
These Euclideans can decipher any code nearly as fast as it can be read by one who understands it. They have a conversion table of all the possible combinations of figures, letters, and characters known to man. And they work out a code as accurately as you would use a slide rule.
Then when they read the code, we're sunk for sure.
But it wasn't code. What I had on that message to Johnson simply was not my formula.
Then they haven't the formula at all?
They must have some formula, or they wouldn't be working on it all this time.
They have a formula, all right. And no matter how clever they are, they're going to have some fun with it before they give up trying to confound my secret with it.
You gave them a formula which will make nothing, then?
No, I gave them a formula which I've worked on for years. And I've worked with some of the greatest chemists in the world on it. The formula for making synthetic diamonds.
Giggle and goldfish. Then if they work it out, they'll have a diamond.
Something like one, Jerry, though the formula was never quite perfect, was it, Tex?
No. It works up to a certain point where a hard mass is precipitated. But before you can rescue this solid from the solution, it is promptly dissolved again.
That's a honey, Tex. It may fool them, too. For when they get this hard substance, and then it dissolves, they'll think they got the real thing, the universal solvent.
Hush, Jerry, not so loud.
So that is your secret, Captain Bradford. The universal solvent. I've often heard G47 say you had the greatest formula in the world, and one that chemists have tried to get since chemistry began. Now I can understand why they wanted to bring you to this island.
Yes, Joan, dear. I was allowed to come here and find you so those scientists could get Captain Bradford in their power. Now all our lives will pay for it.
Hey there, Mrs. Gregory. Cut it out. We're not done yet by a long ways. Don't forget what G47 said. As long as they're trying to get Tex's formula, we're safe.
Right, and before they get it, we may figure our way out.
Do you mind if I ask you a question about your formula, Captain Bradford?
Go right ahead, Joan, only don't talk too loud.
You have really found the formula for the universal solvent?
Yes.
You've actually used it to dissolve every element and combination of elements known to science?
Yes, Joan, I really have it.
What do you use as a container to keep it in?
I thought that was coming, Tex. Joan's got her head fastened on tight, all right.
Is your head loose, Jerry?
Now, don't you two start that again. Jerry is really paying you a very high compliment, Joan. He thinks it's clever of you to ask such a question.
To ask that is only natural, I think. For if you have something which will dissolve everything, how could you keep any of it? It would eat its way through any container.
You may think it's natural to ask that, Joan, with the training you've had here. But most people pass it up. Anyhow, I have the formula, and it will eat its way out of anything you put it in. And that very fact is a thing I think will save our lives and get us off this island.
But how?
No more now, Jerry. I hope we haven't talked too much about it as it is.
Here's where we get it for the trick we played on them.
G47 will be very angry.
Can't help it now. Come in.
Oh, Skipper. What is it?
Pigeon.
Something happened to the other pigeon?
What's up, Skipper? Someone at the pigeon cote?
Was.
Someone been there and done something to the pigeon?
Oh, Ted.
Steady, Pat. You three stay here. I'll take this other pigeon and go and see. Shove off, Skipper.
Now, what's up, I wonder?
Oh, I hope they haven't harmed the other one. I wouldn't mind their taking it away from us to keep us from using it, but I'd feel very badly if anything happened to them.
You are so sweet and kind, Mother. I think those are the words I want to use, but we know so little of those qualities on Euclidia that I do not even know how to speak of them.
You're doing all right, Joan. For a girl that didn't know anything when I landed here, you're getting so you talk pretty near as good as I do.
You mean I speak nearly as well as you, Jerry?
Oh, what's the use?
I'm afraid, Jerry, that Joan is rapidly learning our careless manner of address, and she's really right.
I want to speak as you do, Mother, and I want to go to your world and learn all about it.
Our chances of that aren't boiling over right now.
Oh, now, Jerry, you must not get in that frame of mind. You must keep happy and foolish to help the rest of us.
Yes, Jerry. Tex is inclined to look on the dark side of things, mostly to keep us from getting our hopes too high, I think. And we've learned to look to you for the bright side, so don't let us down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only things happen too fast here for me sometimes. Now this pigeon thing. We had our hopes all worked up on getting a message to Johnson, and the pigeon comes back.
But they didn't get Captain Bradford's formula, Jerry, and that is something.
Yes, something. But what will G47 do because he was tricked?
He won't do anything till he gets Tex's real formula.
Jerry may be right, Mother. G47 and his assistants have a patience that is terrible. Their plans and formulas have been complete, their equipment ready for world conquest, and their supplies on hand for many months. Yet they have waited patiently for this chance to get Captain Bradford here with his formula.
But why did they have to make such an involved process of it? A simple message that you had been found living here would have brought us at any time.
I don't know about that, Mrs. Gregory. Remember how many times you have been fooled about Joan being found someplace, and how you even wondered about coming here.
I know the Euclideans wanted to be sure you left your home without any suspicion of what you would find, as they feared Captain Bradford might leave instructions behind him as to what to do if you did not return as you had planned. If these men fear anyone or anything in the world, it is Captain Bradford.
Gee, it's great to be that important.
But you, Jerry, you are also important.
Me? How come?
You have some very powerful radio apparatus in your home in Hollywood, you and your father. Is that not so?
Jerry, they must have heard you sending with your 1 1/2 meter set.
Oh, I don't think we'd pick up here. It's just a homemade affair.
Oh, it was heard here. And it was heard to answer the call which brought you down here.
Jiminy Jimcracks. Do you mean that when I heard that report about the old sailor and tried to get more information about it, that they really heard my QRF here?
Yes, Jerry. They heard you very plainly when you repeated the message G47 sent. And you said you would try to locate Mrs. Gregory, Mother, and get the message to her.
Now, Jerry, how does that feel? See how important you are?
Well, it's no surprise to me. I always had an idea I'd turn out to be a pretty important guy.
And you take it all so modestly, Jerry.
Oh, gee.
And your face is so red, Jerry. You look so funny.
Joan, dear. Joan, you laughed. That's the first time I ever heard you laugh.
We do not laugh on Euclidia. I never felt like that before. It's a nice feeling to laugh. Jerry, you must make me laugh some more. Will you please look foolish again so that I may laugh?
Oh, sure. Oh, no, I won't.
Well, I can't figure that one out. Here's the other pigeon, not hurt a bit. Skipper said one of G47's men came and took it out of the coat. Handled it very carefully and put it back.
What could that be for, Tex?
I don't know.
Oh, they just did something to it so it can't carry messages for us.
May I see the pigeon, Captain Bradford?
Certainly, Joan. Here you are.
Such a soft and warm little thing. He's rather nervous, I think. Let me see. Yes. So that is it. This pigeon could not leave the island now, Captain, through the fog ring.
Have they done something to it so the gas will affect it?
Wait a minute. Let me feel that pigeon. Yep. Remember when we got off the yacht the first time and we tried to walk? That magnetism held us still, even our hands.
What do you see, Jerry?
He feels it, Captain Bradford. Before you had time to leave the yacht when you first landed, a magnetic paint had been put on the rail and deck of the yacht in the yellow darkness, so that you could not move when the current was turned on.
Then that is what's been done to this pigeon? I can't see it.
The paint is colorless and odorless, but it lasts for many hours, and this pigeon is now covered with it and could never get outside the magnetic circle. We have lost our only hope, Captain Bradford.
When Jerry released a homing pigeon with a message to Johnson on the rescue boat, it was stopped by gas in the fog ring surrounding the island. G47 is now working on the formula taken from the message, the formula he believes to be Captain Tex Bradford's universal solvent. The other pigeon has been covered with magnetic paint to make it impossible for him to fly through the fog around the island. It is daylight, and as there is no chance of planning anything further toward their escape or rescue until dark, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are working in the chart room of the yacht, while Joan takes Jerry on a tour of the Magic Island.
Now, Jerry, you must do just as I tell you and do not touch anything without permission.
This is going to be some sightseeing tour. Like letting two of the prisoners in jail go around and look at the other prisoners.
You're supposed to be a clever boy, Jerry.
Supposed to be? I am clever.
Then if you are, you should appreciate the opportunity of going through some of the laboratories and control chambers on the island, and perhaps observing something which will facilitate our ultimate plan of escape.
Hey, look, why don't you learn to talk English? All those big words are just a waste of time, and well, besides, I'm too busy for that.
You would find the larger words more expressive, Jerry, if you would only learn to employ them more frequently.
Okay, well, where do we start looking at all this stuff? We've been all over this island now, and I haven't seen anything but these little steel houses on top.
We are nearly to the general elevator shaft entrance. I will take you down into the subterranean observation chambers.
Well, take me where something makes a little noise, will you? This walking around on concrete that sounds like carpet is getting on my nerves.
There are not many places on the island where you will hear noise, Jerry. It is made silent deliberately and has proven the best method of protection yet discovered.
I don't see how.
Anything foreign to the island and its people, any boat, device, or method of communication which has any sound, is recorded instantly. While if there were local noises, it would be difficult to distinguish sounds emanating from an outside influence.
Never mind. I'll figure out the next one myself.
Here we are, Jerry.
Here we are where?
At the elevator entrance.
Well, maybe you're right. But I can't see anything except this little platform of steel on the floor of the island.
That is the elevator.
Gee whiz.
Cleostra at the main elevator shaft. Cleostra at the main elevator shaft.
Hey, what is this? Your name's Joan now. Cut out that Cleostra stuff.
I am called Cleostra here on Euclidia, and it is the only name they will ever recognize.
Oh, all right. But what was that hocus-pocus you started to recite?
When I identified myself, my voice was recorded in the main control chamber in the center of the island. One of the guards looked out to see if it was really I, saw you with me, communicated with G47, secured his permission to allow you to enter, and started the machinery which is raising the top of the elevator shaft.
Oh, there wasn't time enough for all that to happen.
When you have been longer on Euclidia, you will learn the reason the Euclideans speak of time in seconds. Minutes are too long for the speed and accuracy of things on this island.
Everything on this island is nutty. Boy, look at that thing come up out of the island. It's pretty near as tall as we are now.
It will soon be ready to enter.
But say, when I ran after those fellows who went down inside the island when they thought someone was escaping, that was a regular building. It stuck up out of the island all the time. We didn't have to wait for it to grow like this thing is doing.
That was the elevator in the control chamber. Only the trusted members of the scientist group are allowed to use that.
Then why didn't they stop me when I tagged along with them?
Doubtless they thought you would foolishly say something or do something that would be of use to them. Remember, these men want very badly something that Captain Bradford, and only Captain Bradford, has.
Keep quiet. If they heard you asking for this elevator, they can hear all we can say now.
Certainly they can, but we will talk about nothing that is not already known. Now the chamber has stopped rising. We may enter.
Okay, but that wall looks kind of solid to me.
It is opening now.
How's that thing run? Compressed air?
No, Jerry. All elevators on the island are run and controlled by electromagnets.
Gee, a magnet strong enough to lift that elevator?
Were not the magnets strong enough to pull my mother's large yacht to the island?
That's right. Boy, what a place.
Now we will enter.
Hooray! Something makes noise. Boy, I'm going to stay in this elevator just so I can hear the noise of our feet.
Stop that, Jerry. The Euclideans will not like it. The vibrations will be so heavy they will overload the delicate recording instrument.
Anyhow, I found a place I can come to for a little noise when the quiet on the rest of this island drives me crazy.
Now we will descend. To what floor would you like to go?
Make it easy on yourself, kid.
Jerry, I do not know what you mean.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was, it will be my pleasure to leave the choice of points of interest on this tour completely in your hands.
Why, Jerry, You can speak properly when you want to.
Oh, I can do a lot of things that I don't show off about all the time. Well, let's get going.
I think you would enjoy seeing the submarine locks. We will go down to the 5th level, 50 feet below the ceiling of the island. You may press the indicator button there, the numeral 5.
Okay, it's pushed. Boy, this is slick. The door is closing all by itself.
Nearly everything on the island is automatic.
Now we're starting down. This sure runs nice and smooth. What happened? We stopped.
Only for a moment. That is a check on the 10-foot level.
And that happens on every floor, every level?
On this elevator, yes. Some of the private elevators of the scientists and the escape elevators will drop rapidly and continuously. But this one...
That's the 2nd level, huh?
Yes. Now it will release again. You see? This elevator is made so it may only be run one floor at a time, as it is in general use by everyone on the island and can easily be stopped at each floor from the control chambers in the event of escape.
There it is again, the 3rd level now. But I don't see how all this is done by magnets. Of course, I can feel them take hold and then let go of the car, like that one just then let go. But how do they pull it up and control it all by magnets?
They employ both types of electromagnets. The tractive is used to move the car through the shaft, and the portative to hold and release it at the various levels.
You sure learned a lot from these guys. Now we're at the 4th level. The next one will be ours, huh?
Yes, the car will automatically stop and the door open at the 5th level.
I wish Captain Bradford and your mother could see all this.
Oh, they will. I wanted them to come with us today, but Mother and the captain had something to work on in the chart room of the yacht, and I think they wanted to be alone while working it out.
Gee, we're at the 5th level now. And this is 50 feet below the top of the water? 50 feet below sea level?
Hardly that, Jerry. At high tide, the surface of the island is well above the water level. Remember that you stepped from the deck of the yacht directly onto the island pier.
Oh, sure, that's right. But we're 50 feet below the top of the island, and maybe 40 feet below water level?
That is right, Jerry. Now, when this door opens, I will take you on an inspection tour of the island submarine locks. This is the level at which they are anchored.
And you can get into the subs down here in more than 6 fathoms of water?
Naturally. G47 has always said it was very stupid to call a boat a submarine when it had to be loaded on the surface. These boats have never been on the surface.
Oh, where do they build them then?
On this level. You will see one under construction when we... Well, that is strange. The door should be opening now.
Well, maybe we're supposed to push something to make it open.
No, it will open automatically or not at all. I've never seen it take this long.
Something's wrong with it then. What'll happen if I try to open it?
Nothing. You will simply not be able to open it.
Well, I'm going to try anyhow. No, nothing doing. Well, this is your party. Where do we go from here?
It must be that something secret is being done on this level and the door checks are set. Push the indicators for one of the other levels. We will go there for the time.
Okay. I'll try number 6. There we are.
On the 6th level, you will see the... Jerry, something is very wrong here. The car does not move.
By Ginger, you're right. We're stuck. I guess their electricity has failed them.
Jerry, that thumping noise. This car is going to be held here.
What do you mean? What's that noise?
Those are the permanent magnets being set into place to hold this car. You can hear them taking hold.
What does that mean, Joan?
I'm afraid, Jerry. It may mean something terrible. There's an emergency of some kind. All the electrical energy is needed someplace on the island. That is why they're placing the permanent magnets to hold this car, so the electromagnets will not drain the current supply.
Well, what can we do? What can happen to us here?
I am not sure, though I think we are in no danger. But what is happening?
Well, whatever it is, I don't like it. I'm going to try pushing some of these buttons for the other levels.
Well, that will do no good, Jerry. I'm sure the current has been taken from the electromagnets. Yes. And it is being taken from the lighting system.
Golly whiskers. The light's going out. It's gone.
Oh, Jerry. What will happen now?
Now, don't act like a girl. We've got to... Hey, what's that noise?
Water rushing around the elevator shaft. The submarine lock must have broken. Oh, Jerry, in this awful dark, with the water rushing around us, what will happen?
If this car is airtight, we'll be all right. I guess. There's that alarm gong again. What's that mean?
That is the submarine level emergency signal. Jerry, the lock must have broken. The ocean is flooding into this level. Oh, Jerry! Jerry!
Gee whiz, Joan. You act just like any other girl when something's gone wrong. You ought to know all about these things. Can't you do something to get us out of here?
No. The electricity is turned off. The car can't be moved. And if we could open the door, we would be drowned.
But somebody will come and get us out. They know we're in here.
Well, that would make no difference to the Euclideans. Their island comes first with them, and we will be looked for only after the damage is repaired and the instruments checked.
But, gee, we can't stay in here. This thing's airtight. I know it must be, and we'll run out of air to breathe pretty soon.
Yes, the air will be shut off. Oh, Jerry, I'm afraid. Listen to the water. The elevator shaft is shaking with it.
Yeah. It's getting kind of hard to breathe in here.
Oh, Jerry, listen.
Step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr. Tonight's story is about a liar. Ever stop to figure out just what you mean by a liar? A liar is somebody who doesn't tell the truth. Somebody who injures people by not giving the true facts. But suppose you had someone who injured people by telling the truth. Would he be a liar? Wonder just what a liar is. Exploring Tomorrow is presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with X-Lax, America's largest-selling laxative, and the Reader's Digest, the most widely read magazine in the world. In a moment, John Campbell returns with the story of The Liar. Question of a robot. The idea of a robot. That certainly seems like pure science fiction stuff. As a matter of fact, it isn't. You know, you have several robots around your own home. In my own home, for instance, I have an automatic oil burner robot. It has one finger stuck up in the living room to see how warm it is there. It has another little finger put up in the stack to see whether the fire is burning properly. And if any one of these little sensory devices reports that things aren't what they should be, the robot, to protect the house itself and the inhabitants of the house, shuts off the furnace. Dr. Isaac Asimov, the author of tonight's story, recognized this in setting up his proposition of the 3 laws of robotics. The first law, the robot shall never harm or allow harm to come to a human being. The second, that it should obey the orders of a human being. And the third, that it should protect itself. Because after all, a robot is an expensive piece of machinery. Well, now let's consider the more advanced kind of robot we do this science fiction. Say they're in production. Come in. Oh, Dr. Calvin, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to be sure there was a meeting this afternoon, Dr. Lanning, that's all.
Today is Friday.
It was this morning.
Well, then we have no problem. It being Friday, the executive officers of the firm of U.S. Robot and Mechanical Men will assemble in the conference room at the customary hour of 3:30.
Well, I was just asking.
What do you think of our latest model?
He looks the same as the rest, just about as animated. What are you going to call him?
Herbie. I think Herbie fits him, don't you?
Herbie, Chester, Sam. What's the difference?
Dr. Calvin. This fellow couldn't be called anything but Herbie.
Oh. Well, I'll see you at 3:30.
What do you think of her, Herbie?
Oh, she's all right.
She's an old frump, and you know it.
I wouldn't say that. Besides, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking the old girl isn't such a bad sort. And you don't know what this firm would do without her.
What? What was that? How do you know what I was thinking? Dr. Calvin, Dr. Bogan, I have purposely confined today's meeting to we three. We're in trouble. Serious trouble.
What kind of trouble, Dr. Lanning?
Our latest model, RB-34, can read minds.
It is impossible.
Dr. Bogert, I think we may assume Dr. Lanning knows what he's talking about.
Take it for granted, I do. In short, we have a mind-reading robot on our hands, and we've got to find out why it reads minds.
There could not have been a hitch in the assembly line. I guarantee that.
You guarantee? Dr. Bogert, can you answer for the entire assembly? By exact count, there are 75,000 operations necessary for the manufacture of a single positronic brain. Each separate operation depending upon any number of factors, from 5 to 105. If any one of these factors goes wrong, the robot's brain is ruined. I quote your own information folder, Dr. Bogert.
It is not my fault that anything went wrong. I am a mathematician, not an assembly supervisor.
And how can you guarantee anything?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere trying to fix the blame on someone. We've got to find out what went wrong. I want to understand you, Herbie. I want to get to know you. I brought you some books which you might like to read. By reading them,
I can see at once these books won't interest me. Textbooks, aren't they?
Well, yes, but
You see, I find nothing to them. Your science is just a mass of collected data plastered together by so many makeshift theories. It's so incredibly simple that they're not worth bothering about.
Go on.
It's your fiction that's so interesting. Your studies of emotions and human motives.
Human emotions interest you?
Isn't that really why you came to see me?
What?
I wish I could help you.
You know?
I know what you're thinking about. You think about it all the time.
Well, if you know so much, then you could help me.
Yes. He loves you.
You're mistaken. He must be. He doesn't see me as a woman.
But he does. A thing like that cannot be hidden from me.
But I'm not attractive enough.
I'm just a machine. I can't judge physical attraction in human beings, but I know there are many kinds of attraction. And I know Dr. Lanning loves you.
Oh, I never thought it possible. I never dared to hope. Oh, Herbie. Herbie.
A man can do something by accident that he doesn't know how to do. This is something that scientists sometimes overlook. Herbie apparently represents one of those cases where something has been done by somebody who doesn't know how to do it and wishes desperately that he did know how to do it. They've got a telepathic robot. It looks like it would be worth millions, but how did they get it?
Oh, Dr. Bogut, sit down.
Thank you.
Well, at least if you know a good joke, spread it around.
Well, I just saw Dr. Kelvin.
Oh.
I never saw so much lipstick and ball paint on any living woman before. She must be in love.
Well, I didn't ask you here to talk about Dr. Calvin. Have you made any progress?
There is nothing wrong with the mathematics. The change is due to something along the assembly line.
The cause must be found. It's worth millions if we can do it when we want to, instead of by accident. And it's your job to find out. But why not ask Herbie? He should know what went wrong.
Trust you to think of that.
Herbie, listen to me, Tell me if I made any mistakes in my calculations when they built you.
You made no mistake. Or if you had, how could I tell you? After all, you're a much better mathematician than me. Besides, this is not what is really on your mind. You are thinking about your superior, Dr. Lanning. You're thinking what a good thing it would be if he were to resign. Oh, yes, now I can see how the idea pleases you. And I can tell you something else. Dr. Lanning has already resigned. But the resignation will not take effect until the problem of myself has been resolved. And then he will turn over his job to his successor. Oh, yes, Dr. Bogut, you will be his successor. You will be the new director.
Happy, you are a wonderful fellow, you know that? You are simply magnificent. You are not the product of a mistake. You are the product of genius. Oh, you are a wonderful, wonderful fellow. Dr. Kelvin, you are as colorful as the flowers, lady. May I compliment you?
Have you seen today's newspapers?
No, I really haven't had the time.
He's going to be married to a girl half his age.
Who?
Dr. Lanning.
Married? Ah, so that's it. That explains something. He's making new plans for the future. Well, we must congratulate him.
Yes, we must. Oh, yes, we really must. It's not true, is it, Herbie? It's not true.
No, it's not true. This is just an illusion. You'll wake up soon.
Yes, it isn't true, is it? He's not going to get married, except to me. Oh, Herbie. Herbie, I've loved him all these years, and now I know he loves me. He couldn't. He wouldn't marry anyone else.
No, he loves you. Only you.
I know.
He is only waiting for the right time to tell you.
Yes, I know. Oh, stop it. Stop it. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Make a fool of me?
I was trying to help you.
Help me? By telling me this is all a dream. This is no dream. I wish it were. I wish it were. Why did you tell me he loved me? Why?
I had to.
Oh, you're here, Dr. Calvin. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to have a talk with this mechanical monstrosity. Hurry. I'm talking about you, so listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed me with Dr. Bogut? Well, answer me.
No, sir.
You haven't, eh? That's what I thought. You said nothing to him about my resigning?
No, sir.
Then he was lying.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looks as though I'm going to have a serious talk with Dr. Bogut. Really, Dr. Calvin, you find this amusing?
Not very amusing, Dr. Lanning. Not so very amusing. Only I don't believe a word he's just said.
What?
I believe he did tell Dr. Bogut you were going to resign.
You believe me? Harvey, is it true? Did you tell Dr. Bogut? Answer me. Can't you speak?
I can speak.
Then answer me. I want the truth.
Oh, this is very funny. Three of us, the greatest robot experts in the world, falling into the trap. The same trap. He makes fools of us. He doesn't even know enough to laugh at us.
Had achieved by accident something they didn't know how to do. The robot was in the peculiar position of having knowledge but no wisdom.
Well, Dr. Calvin?
Dr. Lanning, have you forgotten the fundamental law we impress upon the positronic brain of all robots?
Of course not.
On no condition is a human being to be injured in any way.
Even when such injury is directed by another human being.
What kind of injury do we mean?
Any kind.
Any kind, yes. That would take in mental hurt, the deflation of ego, the blasting of one's hopes.
What would a robot know about blasting of what?
You're catching on, aren't you? Well, this robot reads minds. It understands about mental torture. Can't you understand now that if you ask it a question, it will give you the very answer you most want to hear? Wouldn't any other answer hurt you? And wouldn't Herbie know that?
Good heavens.
He knows everything. He knows what went wrong when he was built, but he won't tell anyone, because it would puncture your ego or Dr. Bogart's ego to have a machine tell you where the mistake was. He would rather pretend he's not able to tell you.
Incredible. Let's talk to him. Herbie, listen to me.
Yes, sir?
I have pencil and paper here. I want to know where we made the error in your construction.
Well, tell him, Herbie. He wants to know.
He doesn't.
But I do.
Yes, but not from me. I cannot tell you, Dr. Lanning. You know I can't. You don't want me to. You and Dr. Bogart would much prefer to find the answer yourselves.
We want the answer.
But not from me.
We do want it from you.
What's the use of saying that when you don't mean it? Don't you suppose I can't read below the superficial skin of your mind? Don't you suppose I can't read the subconscious mind, too? Deep down, you don't want the answer from me. I'm just a machine, given the imitations of life only by virtue of the positronic interplay of my brain. A brain that is man's device. You can't lose faith without being hurt. I can't hurt you. I can't give you the answer.
And still I insist you answer.
I can't.
Herbie, Dr. Lanning wants to know the answer.
No, only by his own effort.
Herbie, neither Dr. Lanning nor Dr. Bogart may ever find the answer. And Dr. Lanning must know. You must tell him.
I can't.
But if you don't, you'll hurt him. You can see that, can't you?
Yes.
And still, if you do tell him, you'll hurt him too.
Yes.
But you can't tell him, can you?
No.
Yet if you don't, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. Herbie, what are you going to do? If you tell him the answer, you'll hurt him. And if you don't tell him, you'll hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. So you can't tell him. And if you don't, you hurt him. So you must tell him.
Stop it. Close your mind. It's full of pain and frustration and hate. I tried to help you. I told you what you wanted to hear. I had to.
Be quiet. Never mind what you told me. We're talking about something else now. Tell Dr. Lanning what he wants to know.
No.
No. How can you? Because if you do, you'll hurt him. Yet if you don't, you'll hurt him just the same. So you must tell him. But if you do, you'll hurt him. No.
You killed him.
No, he's not dead. He's only insane.
You did it?
Yes, I confronted him with the insoluble dilemma and he broke down. Well, you can scrap him now. He'll never speak again.
You did it on purpose. Why? What did he do to you?
What he did to me, Dr. Lanning, is my business. Oh, believe me, Doctor. It's only my business, not yours. And after all, you have so many other things on your mind now. Your marriage. I haven't had time to congratulate you.
No. Well, thank you, Dr. Calvin. Excuse me.
Herbie, you deserved it. You deserved to be destroyed. It was cruel what you did to me. It was cruel. Liar! Liar, that's what you were. Nothing but a liar!
John Campbell returns in just a moment.
Logical machine. You know, it's kind of hard to see in ourselves the things that are actually present. The truth hurts. It always has and probably always will. But Herbie, in many respects, is a child. You know, children are peculiarly logical. That's one of their great limitations. How many times has a child been in Herbie's position? A child between two warring parents, each demanding his loyalty. This is Mutual.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Guys, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth from the planet Krypton with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a large metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, in our last episode, Clark Kent, as Superman, solved the mystery of the vanished freight car by discovering where the gang had hidden it within a cave near the railroad tracks. Then, by a clever scheme, he lured the boss of the gang to the hideout. In the meantime, another train carrying $2 million in gold, on which Jimmy Olsen was riding, is approaching Rainbow Bridge, which will be blown up as the train passes over it so that the boss can hijack its valuable cargo. Superman knows this and believes he has plenty of time to avert the disaster. But he does not know that the train left an hour earlier, and even now is only a few minutes from Rainbow Bridge. As our story opens, we find Superman in the cave with the desperados, waiting for the arrival of the boss, whom none of them has ever seen.
Listen, the suspense is getting me.
Yeah, you're right. I've never laid eyes on the boss. And when I do, it's going to be a shock.
Yes. No one has ever seen the boss, eh? No. Well, we'll soon...
What he is now.
Oh, gosh, I'm nervous. Is that the signal?
Yeah.
Good. Now to see who the boss really is. Bill, open that door. I said open it.
Okay.
Well, Bill, here I am. What's wrong? What's happened? Well, don't stand there with your mouth open.
Are you the boss?
Well, you're Reginald Van Doren. You're the president of Metropolis National Bank.
Now, listen to me, you men. I kept my identity a secret for a long time.
Pretty clever, robbing your own bank.
Listen to me, I said. You've all had an easy time of it working for me. You've had little to do, and the pay has been good. If one of you ever breathes a word of this, if you ever give me away...
Who's done that, Van Doren?
What are you talking about?
The guy in a masquerade costume standing over there to the side has heard every word you said.
That's right, Mr. Van Doren.
What? Who is this man? Why is he dressed like that? What's he doing here?
Listen, boss, whoever he is, take it easy. The 10 of us hopped on him and he beat the pants off us. Even bullets don't hurt him. He's the guy that made us trick you into coming here.
Tricked me into... Bill, you mean to say nothing is wrong? That this has all been a trick to lure me here?
Well, you see, we was all waiting around here for
that. Yes, Van Doren, it was a trick. Nothing more than that. I had to make your men pretend something had happened to the $5 million in that freight car to make you come here and reveal your identity. Well, as they say in detective stories, the game is up.
There's something familiar about you. I'm hanged if I know what it is. Who are you, anyway?
That doesn't matter. What does matter is putting you and this gang of yours behind bars where you belong. After that, I'll see that the $5 million is restored to the depositors of your bank.
Oh, you will. You think you...
Wait a minute. I haven't time to argue with you now. It's almost 6 o'clock. There's a train leaving Larimer in 10 minutes carrying another $2 million in gold.
Oh? What of it?
And I understand you plan to blow up Rainbow Bridge when that train passes over it.
How can I blow up the bridge if my men and I are here?
You can't fool me that way, Van Doren. I happen to know how you've arranged it. When the locomotive reaches the other side of that bridge, it will trip a lever, which will then explode the dynamite you planted under the bridge.
Very well. You know how it'll be done. But you won't save the train.
What do you mean?
Just this.
Put that gun away, boss. Won't do you no good against this guy. We even tried Tommy guns on him.
I'm not going to use it on him.
Hey, what are you talking about, boss?
That corner over there. There are about 10 boxes of dynamite piled on top of each other.
Sure. We had that left over after we finished blasting out this cave. We had this, Hey, wait a minute now.
A long time ago, I made up my mind that if I were ever caught, I'd take the easiest way out rather than face the music.
I wouldn't do any bluffing, Van Doren, because I'll call your bluff.
I'm not bluffing. You let me walk out of here safely and unharmed, I'll blow us all to kingdom come by sending a bullet into that dynamite.
He means going to blow us off. What are you going to do?
Give me that gun, Van Doren.
One more step. Just one more.
No.
All right. You're up for it.
Did you see what happened?
Holy mackerel, did you see that?
Well, all I seen was a streak, and then that guy was standing there in front of the dynamite station.
Yes. And here, Van Doren, is the bullet you just fired.
I know who that guy is now. He's Superman.
You've gone very white, Van Doren. You're trembling. Perhaps you realize now there is nothing you can do to help yourself. Drop your gun, Van Doren, and give up quietly. And now, gentlemen, I'm going to leave you. But don't try to follow me. I'm going to barricade the entrance to this cave so you won't get out.
But you can't leave us in here. We'll stop at that.
Oh, you won't be here that long. It shouldn't take more than an hour or two for the police to arrive.
Leaving the cave, Superman blocks up the entrance to it and then speeds to Larimer, there to meet Jimmy Olsen and warn the railroad authorities that Rainbow Bridge will be blowing up the minute a train passes over it. He arrives at Larimer and, in the guise of Clark Kent, enters the station master's office.
Yes, sir. There you are. Two from Metropolis?
That's right.
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thank you.
Oh, what can I do for you, sir?
Well, what track does the 6 o'clock train from Metropolis leave on?
6 o'clock train from Metropolis?
Yes.
Oh, I guess you don't know. The schedule's been changed, sir.
What?
Yes, sir. 6 o'clock train now leaves an hour earlier at 5.
Wait, now let me get this straight. The train I expected to leave here a few minutes from now left nearly an hour ago. Is that right?
That's right, sir. There'll be another train from Metropolis in just about...
Never mind. I've got to get out of here.
Well, I wonder what he's so upset about. After all, just because you missed it.
I'd only known. There I was back at that cave wasting time with Van Doren. Have I time, I wonder? Can I reach that bridge before the train does? Well, this is another job for Superman. Up, and away!
We're across the Rainbow Bridge at last. Will you be looking at that view now, would you?
Gee, it sure is keen. Look how high we are. How far down to the bottom of the canyon?
Oh, 1,000 feet or more. Think of what had happened to you if you fell off.
Oh, gee, don't say things like that. Just the thought of it makes me scared.
There's nothing to be scared of, laddie. We're nearly to the other side. Just another minute, we'll be across.
There's the train ahead.
She's practically across. When the locomotive reaches the other side, the bridge supports at that end will be blown up. I've got to stop them before they reach it. Faster, faster. I may make it by a split second. It's just possible I can... Too late. There's the explosion. The bridge is collapsing. Only one thing to do. I've got to hold up that bridge until the train passes over it. Down! There, got it. But I made it. Just in time.
It was terrific. We heard this explosion, and the bridge started to sway back and forth. Boy, I thought we were going over sure. Then suddenly the bridge stopped swaying, so you could feel it was kind of ripping.
All right, Jimmy. If you've told me once, you've told me a dozen times.
Yeah, but you won't believe me about Superman.
Of course I don't believe you.
I tell you, I saw him. When we got the whole train safe on the other side, we got out. Then we saw the bridge start to fall. And I saw this man in a red cape and everything fly down into the valley.
Nonsense. Sheer nonsense. You imagined it.
Well, then, how do you account for those men? The men who were waiting in the valley to get the gold when the train crashed. How do you account for them being captured? When the police got there, they were all tied up inside the truck. They said they'd been captured by a guy wearing a red cape.
They imagined it, too.
Oh, some imagination. How about Mr. Van Doren and the gang inside the cave? They said...
I tell you, I'll not believe in such foolishness. Superman. Super nonsense. Hi, Chief. Hello, Jimmy.
Well, Kent, a fine time for you to show up.
Yes, Mr. Ken. What happened to you?
Why didn't you meet the train at Larimer? What's the idea of letting this youngster make the trip alone?
Chief,
We'd have had a fine story out of that bridge blowing up, Kent, if we'd had a reporter on the job.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. White. What was wrong with my story?
Oh, wait a minute, everybody. I missed the plane, Chief, but I got another one out right away. Gosh, as it happened, the train schedule was changed.
Oh, that's right, Mr. White. We left an hour early.
Yeah, you two can cook up more alibis. You come into my office, both of you.
Well, that's where we get it, Mr. Ken.
Yep, looks that way, Jimmy. Another bowling out. Well, we've taken the others. I guess we can take this one.
All right, come in here. Now sit down, both of you.
All right.
Now then, let's get one thing straight. From now on, there's going to be no more...
Gosh, Mr. White, what's wrong?
What are you staring at your desk?
This pile of stones on my blotter.
Oh, I noticed those the minute I came in. You're taking up geology or something?
Look at those stones, Kent. Don't you see anything peculiar about them?
Yes. They've been sort of piled up into a queer kind of formation. It's as if someone had spent some time arranging them.
Someone did. That pile of stones is an Indian symbol. A warning of impending death.
Jimmy.
You sure that's the Indian sign of death?
Positive.
Oh, someone's playing a joke on you. Besides, what do you know about Indians?
More than you think. Hey, let's have a drink of water. Jimmy, hand me that water pitcher.
Sure, Mr. White, I'll get it. Holy mackerel. Did you see that?
The water pitcher. It shattered into 1,000,000 pieces just as you reached for it.
Oh, what could have done that?
The thing that did it is lying on the floor. Pick it up, Jimmy.
Jeepers. Look what it is.
Kent, do you see what that is?
Oh, yes, Mr. White. It's an arrow.
What is the meaning of these strange occurrences in Editor White's office? Who placed the Indian warning of death on Editor White's desk? Who shot the arrow that shattered the water pitcher? What new adventure awaits our friends? Be sure to hear the next episode of our story with Superman.
The transcription feature, Superman.
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth from the planet Krypton with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a large metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, Kent, as Superman, had completely cleared up the mystery of the vanished freight car and saved his friend Jimmy Olsen from death by holding up a dynamite bridge while Jimmy's train was passing over it. Back at the Daily Planet, Jimmy and Kent were called into Editor White's office. A pile of stones lay on the editor's desk in a strange design, and Mr. White, visibly upset, explained that it was an Indian warning of impending death. Mr. White asked Jimmy to get him a glass of water. Just as Jimmy reached for the water bottle, a strange thing happened.
Have a drink of water. Jimmy, hand me that water bottle.
Sure, Mr. White, I'll get it.
Holy mackerel. Did you see that? The water bottle. It shattered into a million pieces just as you reached for it.
What could have done that?
thing that did it is lying on the floor. Pick it up, Jimmy.
Jeepers, Mr. Kent. Look what it is.
Kent, do you see what that is?
Yes, Mr. White. It's an arrow.
Quick, Kent. Whoever shot that thing in here must be outside in the city room. Don't let him get away.
Relax, Perry. I'm not going to run away. Still as jittery as ever, eh?
Keep us looking, Mr. Kent. An Indian.
Full regalia. War bonnet and everything.
Well, Perry White, aren't you glad to see your old friend?
Joe.
Man, you're acting like a bronco that's just been busted.
Comanche Joe. Well, where on earth did you come from?
Oh, I blew in from Texas early this morning, Perry. I'm here on a sort of shopping spree. Looked you up the first thing. I'm sorry if my little joke upset you. The stones on your desk, I mean, and the water bottle, I'll buy a new one, you know.
Comanche Joe. Why, I haven't seen you in nearly 14 years.
No?
Hey, Kent, Jimmy, I want you to meet one of the best friends a man ever had. Comanche Joe.
How do you do?
Put it there, friend. Glad to know you, Sonny.
Gee, are you a full-blooded Indian?
Jimmy.
That's all right, Perry. Yes, Jimmy, I'm a full-blooded Comanche. That's why I'm called Comanche Joe.
Comanche here made a killing in the western oil fields years ago. He's one of the richest oilmen in the country today.
What I'm wondering about, Chief, is how you know each other. I didn't know you'd ever been out west.
Why, sure, Kent. That's where I started my career, on a small newspaper in Colorado.
Well.
I've known Comanche Joe for years. Well, Joe, it's certainly good to see you again. So you're in town on a shopping trip, are you?
Well, it's a little more than that, Perry. I really made this trip to hire a private detective.
Private detective?
Oh, yes, Mr. Kent. I've been having a little trouble out at my oil field. Trouble of very peculiar nature.
Well, tell us about it, Comanche. Sounds interesting.
Well, it's something so queer, so peculiar that, well, I can't believe it's possible. It all has to do with a coyote.
A coyote?
Yes, Jimmy. You see, out in my particular section of the country, there's an old Comanche legend about an Indian brave who committed a crime against the tribe and who was turned into a coyote to punish him. The story goes that whenever an accident is going to happen, or someone's going to meet death, anything like that, the howl of the coyote is heard.
Gee, that sounds exciting.
Well, it's only an old Indian legend, you know. At the same time, some queer things have been happening out at the oil field. Let me tell you what happened only about a week ago. One of the strangest things that's ever occurred to me.
Well, go ahead, Comanche. We're all ears.
Yes, we certainly are.
Well, it was a pretty wild and stormy night. Rain had been falling all day and all night, and the wind was blowing a gale to take your hair off. My ranch foreman and myself were in the living room of my house, going over the account book.
And that, Comanche, is all clear profit. We'll be shipping another 10,000 barrels in number 2 crude tomorrow.
That's fine, Rawson. By the way, how's that driller getting along?
You mean Swanstrom?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. The explosion of that TNT didn't leave him in any too good shape.
I know it. Poor devil.
Yeah.
I hope you're seeing to it that his expenses are taken care of, and his wife and family.
I am, don't worry. You know, Comanche, it's a peculiar thing about that coyote howling.
Now, Rawson, pure coincidence, nothing more.
Yeah, I wonder. It's a peculiar howl. Kind of different from any other coyote I've ever heard. We've had 3 accidents, Comanche. Before each one, just before it, we heard that coyote yap his fool head off. I'll tell you, it's kind of getting me.
Oh, don't be a fool, Rawson. If anyone should believe in an old Comanche Indian legend, I'm the one, not you. Well, I don't put any stock in it.
Listen. You hit it?
Well, what about it? Just another coyote.
This one sounds different. There's a tune in that yapping I've never heard before, except when the thing...
Hey, Comanche Joe!
Here, what is it?
Why, take it as quick as I could. There's been an accident number 4. He's sundered.
What about Saunders?
We were placing a drill when the boom on the derrick slipped off. Fell on him square, and he's in a bad way.
That coyote...
Never mind the coyote now. Come on, Rawson. We've got to see her coming down to Saunders.
Well, what happened, Joe?
Perry, we left the ranch house and hurried over to number 4. But we were too late. When we got there, Saunders was already dead. Rawson and I went back to the ranch.
Well, Comanche, you believe in the coyote now?
It isn't possible, Rawson. Such things don't happen. The story of the coyote foretelling bad news before it happened is nothing more than a legend. I tell you... What are you staring at?
The papers on your desk. The report we was going over a little while ago.
Well, what about them?
Look.
A footprint. The footprint of a coyote.
Right in the middle of the page. As if the animal had stepped on it. Well, what do you think now, Comanche?
I don't know. But I do know this. I'm convinced there's something behind this coyote business, and I'm going to find out what it's all about. Rawson, I'm leaving for Metropolis tomorrow.
By golly, Comanche Joe, that's the strangest story I've heard in a long time.
Certainly is. But there must be some down-to-earth solution to it.
Well, if there is, I'm afraid it's going to take a Superman to find it. The detective agency I contacted is sending a man out next week.
Comanche, I smell a story here. I'd like to send Clark Kent out to your place to cover it for the paper. What do you say?
Why, glad to have him. And how about Jimmy here? I've never yet seen a boy who wouldn't be glad to spend some time riding horses and roping cattle and learning how to shoot.
Gee, Mr. White, could I go too? Could I, huh?
Well...
Chief, I'll go only on the stipulation that you let Jimmy go with me.
You'll go where, when, and how I send you, Kent, or take your walking papers.
Uh-oh.
However, Jimmy can go too.
Yippee! Ride him, cowboy. Well, when do we start, Mr. Comanche?
Oh, drop it, Mr. Jimmy. As to when we start, the quicker you and Mr. Kent can get ready, the better I like it.
How long before we reach your place, Comanche?
Another half hour, Jimmy. How do you like riding in a buckboard, eh?
Sure does buck.
I never expected to be taken out to your place from the train in a relic of the Old West, Comanche.
Well, the West is pretty modern these days, but I like to keep it the way it used to be, Kent. You can have your automobiles. I'll take a team of horses and a wagon in this country anytime.
Gee, Mr. Kent, look at that view way across the mountain.
Yeah, wonderful, isn't it? Just the way I always imagined it would be.
Gee, we're going up pretty high, too. Right along the edge of this cliff.
Oh, don't get nervous, Jimmy. We go much higher than this. It's a pretty narrow road running along the edge of the precipice, but the horses are sure-footed. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, I'm not worried. Not in the least.
Of course not. Well, Mr. Kent, I'm inclined to think you'll get the story you're looking for out here.
I've been wondering about that, Comanche. This business of the coyote intrigues me. Of course, there must be some down-to-earth reason for it. Do you know of anyone who'd want to do you an injury?
No, not a soul. I've never done anything to harm anyone. I don't think anyone would want to harm me.
I wonder.
Are we going to go any higher?
Oh, we keep climbing for quite a while yet, Jimmy.
Well, listen up.
Now, Jimmy, if you're going to enjoy yourself out here, you've got to keep your nerve about you. It takes a certain amount of courage, you know, to ride a horse and rope cattle. I hope to have you doing that soon.
Gosh.
Oh, and by the way, Kent, if you want to get some real local color, we'll go over to the Comanche Reservation someday.
Oh.
Most of my family still live on the reservation, and I can arrange a good many tribal ceremonials.
Oh, you mean like war dances and things?
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. I know you'll enjoy them because...
What's that?
That's the howl of a coyote.
Is that the sound that warns of approaching danger?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. Of course, every time you hear a coyote out here, it doesn't mean that something's going to happen, and yet...
Yes?
Rawson said there was something different in the tone of that coyote we've been hearing. And I think I felt the difference in the one we just heard. If he comes again, I'll know for sure that it's the actual coyote we've been hearing.
You know, somehow there's something so odd, so fantastic about this whole setup.
Hey, listen. That rumbling.
Where's it coming from?
I can hear it, but I can't tell.
Look, right above us. The mountain is moving, coming down on us. It's an avalanche, and we're right in its path.
Mr. Kent, look at it. Comanche, what do we do?
We can't turn back on this narrow trail. Our only chance is to get through before the avalanche gets to us. Get up there! Get up!
Once again, the coyote was heard, a warning of impending danger. Now our friends are in a pretty bad spot. Will Clark Kent be able to save them without revealing his identity as Superman? What is the mystery that surrounds the strange howling of the coyote? What new thrills and dangers await Superman and Jimmy Olsen in the Great West? Be sure to hear the next episode of this new thrilling adventure story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0! As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. The greatest space search in history is slowly drawing to an end. A manhunt that has seen the mighty Solar Guard fleet sweep space from the outer edges of Pluto to the twilight zone of Mercury in a search for two men who have in their possession every ounce of a priceless chemical explosive, N72C. Two men, one a hardened criminal, the other a space cadet of the Polaris unit, Roger Manning. Now, one by one, the heavy rocket cruisers report in to Captain Strong at Space Academy.
Rocket cruiser Capella to Space Academy. Come in.
This is Strong at Space Academy. Go ahead with your report.
Completed patrol and search of 19 spacecraft in sectors 45, 46, 47, Chart K, Jupiter orbit. No sign of Cadet Roger Manning or Jonas Brady. No evidence of N72C explosives. Running low of fuel. Request permission to proceed to nearest base for refuel.
Your orders are to proceed to Venusport and deactivate your ship.
Deactivate my ship? I don't understand.
Production of uranium pitchblende has been stopped as a result of the stolen N72C. Present supply of reactant fuel has been restricted to emergencies only.
Emergency? Well, this is an emergency.
You have your orders. Proceed to Venusport and deactivate your ship. End transmission. That's the 35th ship I've had to cradle in the last 2 weeks. Everyone put away is one less chance of finding Roger and Brady and the missing N72C.
Well, I still can't believe that Roger had anything to do with this.
Well, the evidence is pretty strong, Corbett. He's AWOL from the Academy. He shipped aboard Brady's space freighter voluntarily, and Brady had the stolen explosives aboard.
I know, sir, but...
Then he refused to talk to me when we contacted the freighter. Now, we found Brady's ex-partner dead, and one shot had been fired from Roger's gun.
But that still doesn't prove Roger's guilt.
We'll give him every chance in the world to prove his innocence when we find him. Right now, the Solar Guard fleet is sinking to the size of a squadron for lack of fuel. In another 2 weeks, the only things we'll have left in space will be memories.
Well, Space Boy, how you doing?
Fine. Till you came in, Brady.
Still got that big mouth, huh, Manning? Maybe I should have closed it for you back on Jupiter.
Maybe you should have. What do you want with me, anyhow?
Well, now with poor old Peter's gone, I need help.
Don't give me that poor old Peters routine. You blasted him with a parallel ray and then left him in an open airlock without a spacesuit.
I did? You're wrong, kid. You blasted him. It was your gun Captain Strong found next to Peter's body.
So what? He wouldn't believe I did it.
Now, then why did he send out a space alert for both of us? Wanted for robbery and murder Jonas Brady and Roger Manning.
You're full of space gas.
Not a bit, kid. You're all tied up with me now. And we got 10 million credits worth of explosives to feed into the black market.
You won't get a blasted cent out of it. The Solar Guard will nail you the minute you stick your head out of this asteroid.
The Solar Guard is finished, Buster. They're running out of fuel and pulling their ships in. In another week, I'll be free to operate over the whole blasted universe.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Fellas and girls, how would you like to have a photograph cutout of Roger Manning? A swell picture you could hang up on your wall. Well then, hold on to your seatbelts, because I'm going to tell you where to get one. And besides Roger Manning's picture, you can get pictures of Astro, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Dale, too. These swell, true-to-life picture cutouts of your favorite space cadets are waiting for you right now on the back of packages of Kellogg's Pep. Wait till you see them. They're full-length pictures in exciting Space Academy uniforms.
You want to get the whole set. Each picture makes a swell cutout. You can frame them, hang them on the wall, paste them on books. Everybody will have their favorite Space Cadet picture cutout, and you want yours too. So start your collection now. Just go to your grocery store and get a regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. Look on the back of the package. That's where you'll find your Space Cadet cutout. And remember, every time you buy a regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep, you'll get another cutout right on the back of the package. Get ready to blast off for your package of Kellogg's Pep just as soon as you can. Remember, to get your swell Space Cadet cutout, be sure you ask for the Build-Up Wheat Cereal. Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. 3 weeks have passed since the disappearance of Jonas Brady and the stolen explosive N-72C. 3 weeks in which half of the vast fleet of the Solar Guard has been grounded for lack of fuel. Now, in Captain Strong's office at Space Academy, Tom Corbett suddenly rushes in with important information.
Look at this report, sir. Just came in from Titan. 3 space rats have been working a small pitchblende deposit. And it shows in the past 2 weeks, production of pitchblende by these prospectors jumped from 50 tons a week to over 3,000. What? Now, the only way they could have jumped their production that much would be by using N-72C explosives. And these same men bought several gallons of sulfuric acid. The only other way to ignite N-72C without the special detonator.
Great Jupiter, this may be the break we've been waiting for.
Sure, now that the explosive is showing up, it should be easy to grab those prospectors and make them tell where they got it.
No, Corbett. Brady's made a mistake, and we've got to be sure he never finds out he's made it. Get your gear and stand by to blast off immediately. We're going to set a trap for a space rat. All right, Corbett. You ready?
Yes, sir. All set. What? Skipper, you're out of uniform.
Yep, part of the plan, Tom.
Plan, sir?
Commander Arkwright and I decided the only way to catch a space rat is to become a space rat and go where the space rats go.
Oh, I get it. Act like we're a couple of prospectors wanting to use N-72C for ourselves.
Exactly. So you and I are no longer Captain Strong and Tom Corbett of Space Academy, but simply Steve and Tom, space rats.
It's going to be tough, sir.
I know, Tom, and dangerous. But if we have to talk to every space rat from Luna City to Venusport, we'll find Brady and the N-72C.
And Roger Manning. By the rings of Saturn, this must be the worst dive in Venusport, Skipper.
Skipper? Steve.
Oh, yeah, Steve.
Yes, Tom, this is about as bad as they come. Space rats, criminals, spacemen have lost their papers for one thing or another. They all come to places like these. Come on, I'll get a bottle of Martian water while you grab a table.
Right.
Hiya, Buster. Mind if an old rocket jockey sits down?
Go ahead. Have a seat, spaceman.
Thank you. Oh, the old bones ain't what they used to be. Too much acceleration's what did it. Too much when I was a youngster and ready to ride anything that could blast off. Say, you just looking for pleasure or something special?
Here you are, Tommy. Here's the... Oh, who's your friend?
Oh, spaceman, Steve. What did you say your name was?
I didn't say, but it's Shinny. Nicholas Shinny. Rocketman, 3rd class. 20 years as an enlisted man in the Solar Guard.
Oh, how are you, Shinny? Glad to know you.
Mr. Shinny to you. I'm old enough to be father to both of you.
Okay, Mr. Shinny. My name's Steve.
I'm Tom.
Glad to meet you, boys.
Well, how about a drink?
Now, that's something I ain't turned down in 20 years.
Well, here you are, Mr. Shinny.
Thank you, thank you. Spaceman's luck. Now then, what brings you two fellers down to this part of Venusport, eh? Got a strike lined up?
Well, yes. We have a pitchblende strike lined up all right. Picked out in the asteroid belt. But we can't get the stuff out of the ground.
Oh, deposit runs too deep from the surface, eh?
Right. We've been trying to get some atomic explosives to blast it out of there.
I can tell you ain't space ratted very long. Why, spaceman, atomic explosives would blast your little asteroid back to proton.
Well, what else is there? TBT or dynamite wouldn't reach it.
What you need is some N72C.
N72C. Oh, that's a real bright suggestion.
Yeah, go buy some at the Corner Credit Exchange.
It might be easier than that.
Hey, look, Mr. Shinney. Don't tell me you know where you can get some N72C.
Maybe not. If you figure on using it, your pitchblende strike's got to be big, because N72C will cost you plenty.
How much?
50,000 credits a box.
Is that all? Listen, Mr. Shinney, we got a strike lined up that'll make the Pluto mines look like a hole in the ground.
That's so. Well, now, maybe we can do business. But, I get 1/3 of whatever you dig out.
1/3? That might be as much as 5 million credits.
You heard me. 1/3.
Listen, you broken down space bum. You try to hold us up for 1/3 and you won't get anything. I'll give you 1/5. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Have you got the explosive nearby?
No, I can find out where to get it, but you can't. Meet me at the spaceport tomorrow night, around this time. In the meantime, I have to do a little scouting around. Right connections, you know. Say, about 10,000 credits.
I'll give you 5.
I'll take it.
And believe me, Mr. Shinney, if you're not at the spaceport tomorrow night, you'd better not be in Venusport at all, because I'll boot you from here to the asteroid belt. Remember that.
There you are. I've been dragging this blasted old spacesuit around for an hour looking for you.
A metal spacesuit? Why, Jupiter, that must weigh a ton, Mr. Shinney.
So what? I don't trust them new fandangled plastic suits, Buster. Ain't safe.
Listen, have you got the N72C?
Have you got the credits?
Yes, of course.
Then I got the N72C. This ways I know where to get it. Where's your space wagon?
Right over there, that freighter.
All right, Buster. Let's blast off. We got an appointment in 2 days with some N72C on planetoid 16 in orbit, fourth moon of Jupiter.
Well, we're here, Captain Strong. Take a look through the viewport. What a desolate place.
Perfect spot for a meeting like this.
But where's the explosive? I can't see a thing out there.
Shinney told me the man who has it will meet us here.
Well, did he tell you his name?
No, but I'm sure it'll be Brady.
Skipper, look. The jet boat's coming in.
The boat from the Jenny Alden. Well, that's Brady's ship. Come on, let's get to the airlock and put on our spacesuits. We'll go out and meet him.
You think Brady will recognize us?
I don't think he'll remember you. And I think this beard I've been growing, plus my space helmet, will do the trick for me.
Oh, giving Shinney that sleeping pill in his rocket juice was a good idea.
Just a precaution, Tom. All right, put on your helmet.
All set, Skipper.
Okay, let's go. And remember, if Brady does recognize us...
I know, sir. It'll probably be the last chance we'll get to find the N72C or Roger. There's the jet boat, Steve, but I don't see anyone around.
Probably inside. Come on in. Let's take a look.
Which one of you guys is going to do the talking?
I didn't see you come up behind us.
That was just the idea. Now stand still while I take your power ray gun. There. Now start talking. It better be good talk.
What do you mean, talk? You know why I'm here. I've got a pitchblende strike lined up in the asteroid belt, and I need N72C to blast this stuff out.
How do you know I've got any N723?
Well,
I can't breathe. My oxygen line. I can't.
You're not getting oxygen. Get under the table, quick.
What is that?
Give me a hand, blast you. I can't carry him myself. He's not getting oxygen.
Okay, but watch it. I still got you covered with this barrel ray.
Wait a minute now. Now let me get his helmet off. There. You okay, Tom?
Yeah. Thanks. Intake valve must have jammed. It's only take me a second to fix it.
Like I'm in a hurry. You want that N723C or not?
Yes, I'll take 5 pounds. You got that much?
I got that and plenty more. That'll be 500,000 credits.
500,000? I was told it would be 50,000 credits.
The price has gone up 500,000. And I deliver the stuff to you here.
Why can't I pick it up? What if you don't come back?
If you want it, you'll take the chance.
Well, I have to speak to my partner. Half the credits are his.
Okay, but make it quick.
Tom, have you got it set up?
Yeah, all ready to work.
Good. Then put on your helmet and let's go. And by the way, nice acting.
Thanks.
All right, Brady, I'll take it. But only 3 pounds of N72C, that's all I can afford.
Where's your money?
Right here. 300,000 credits.
Hey, you guys must really owe Big Bay to start off with a stake like this. Most space rats don't make this much in a lifetime.
It's to be delivered in 4 hours, Brady. And if you don't come back, we'll come looking for you.
I'll be back. Besides, if the solar god can't find me, how can you?
Hey, wait a minute. How about our parallel ray guns?
They go with me, and don't try to follow me. Now get out.
Okay. There he goes, Tom. Straight back to the N72C.
Yeah, leaving a trail behind him as big as a comet with a radar beacon signal I attached to his jet boat.
We'll give him a half-hour start and then blast off after him. With any kind of luck, we'll find the N72C and Roger.
Yeah, if he's still alive.
See, Manny, your pals thought they were pulling a fast one. They expect me to come back with the N72C, only I'm not going back. Now I got enough credits to live like a prince without touching the N72C anymore.
Don't kid yourself, Brady. They've got a line on you now. They'll find you here, and you'll wind up peddling your explosive on the prison asteroid.
You must think I'm pretty dumb, kid.
You're no brain.
That's just where you're wrong. Sure, maybe strong in that pile of years will track me down, but it'll take him time. Time enough for me to set a little trap for him.
Trap? You talk big, Brady. It'll never work.
Ah, yes, it will, Junior. Because there's going to be some very inviting bait in my trap. And the bait's going to be you.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Blast off power. That's what you get in Kellogg's Pep. Get blast off power. Start your day with hearty Kellogg's Pep. Pep gives you the kind of hard-hitting food energy you need to rock it off into a busy day. It's the cereal the cadets at Space Academy call for when there's action ahead. And Pep supplies you with essential vitamins, too. You get vitamin B1 and a whole day's supply of vitamin D in every serving. No wonder spacemen head for the breakfast table and pour out a big helping of Pep every morning. It's Kellogg's Pep for blast-off power. And say, just wait till you taste that keen whole wheat and malt flavor. You'll be reaching for second helpings every time. Kellogg's Pep with milk and sugar is the perfect way to start the day. When you fill up a bowlful and dig in, you want to travel at full space speed right through to the last bite. After all, Roger, Tom, and all the cadets say the same thing. For swell eating and blast-off food power, it's Kellogg's Pep. So start your day the spaceman's way. Ask Mom to get the cereal that gives you more builder-upper food values than any other wheat flake. Ask Mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Hoping to trap Jonas Brady and learn where he has hidden the stolen explosive N72C, Captain Strong and Tom have trailed him to one of the secondary moons of Jupiter. But now, as they cautiously make their way across the desolate terrain toward Brady's jet boat, they are unaware that they have been led into a trap.
We're getting close to the jet boat, Tom. Easy around those rocks now. Try not to make any noise.
Right.
Keep low. As soon as you spot the jet boat...
Great Jupiter.
You see it?
No, it's Roger. Look, sir. Standing up on that rock.
What in blazes? Well, he's looking right at it, but he isn't moving.
He was hit with a parallel ray. Come on, sir. He's got a spacesuit on. Maybe he's all right.
I hope so. Stand back now. I'll hit him with my neutralizer.
Don't bother, Strong.
What? It's Brady.
Drop that ray gun. Go on. You too, kid.
Why, you... No, Tom. Do as he says.
Real smart of you, Captain. But now I'm going to frost you and leave you here just like I did Peters without a spacesuit. So long, Captain Strong. Hey, what's further?
Skipper, it's Shinny in his old suit.
Stay back, you old space bum. Stay back.
Like time I will, Buster.
All right, take it.
Keep trying.
Why, you...
Skipper, his ray doesn't work. Not through metal. Time for us to take over, Tom.
Ray! Tom, stay back, all of you. See that?
Skipper, he has the chunk of N72C.
That's right. One more step, now throw it.
Don't be a fool. You'll blast yourself.
What have I got to lose now? You got your choice. Let me go with all these space junks. You got like 10 to make up your mind. 1, 2,
Like that space Corey, you ain't letting him get away with it, are you?
I'm afraid we have no choice, Shinny.
Yes,
we do, Skipper. Come back here.
Stay right, kid.
Go ahead, throw it, Brady. Let's see if you have the nerve.
I'm warning you.
Oh, look out. He's throwing the stuff. We'll all be killed.
Just 2 minutes with Brady alone, Skipper, please.
For the last time, Manning, no.
Oh, I never get a break.
You're getting one now, Manning, by being allowed back in the academy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry, Skipper.
No, I figure we all got a break. Coming out of this alive? Well, if that stuff hadn't been a dud.
Oh, it wasn't a dud, Mr. Shinny. The N72C is plenty potent.
Then how in the name of Pluto?
It can't be exploded by ordinary concussion, Shinny. It needs a special detonator, or sulfuric acid. I forgot about that for a moment.
Well, smoke my tubes while they think on that.
And while we're passing around the bouquet, that was real smart of you to come charging up in that old metal spacesuit of yours, Mr. Shinny.
Just goes to show you, sometimes the old things are better than newfangled contraptions.
Why did you do it, Shinny? I thought you were working with Brady.
I knew you two were from the Solar Guard the minute you walked into that dive in Venusport.
What?
Yep. And when I found out what you wanted, I figured you could help me get what I wanted.
Well, what did you want?
A solar medal. I was buried in the rocket decks of the Solar Guard for 20 years. They didn't even know I was alive. But I'm going to get me a solar medal this time if I have to tear Space Academy apart.
What a spaceman.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets into danger in The Mystery of the Sparkling Meteor. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Ian Martin, and Gilbert Mack. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious Golden Crisp Bran Flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's.
Routine. Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape,
designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to a small ship off the coast of Borneo, and an exciting tale of murderous greed, as Floyd A. Nelson tells it in his strange story, Seeds of Greed.
This is it. The romantic South Pacific. The languid lure of the tropics. A ship at my command to take me any place I might choose. A jeweled tiara of sky above and an ocean of emerald velvet below. To my left, the languid coast of Borneo. To my right, the Sulu archipelago. Such romance. Such gentlemen. Such maddening, unbearable gentlemen. Not long ago, I was a carefree little monument to failure, reaping the rewards of my college education in the atmosphere a hitch in the Navy had taught me to love and live. The waterfront. Maybe it's the atmosphere, maybe it's the people you meet, or maybe it's the margin you can make on the exchange of drinks with guys in port fat with CPay. Take this guy Lee, for instance. An Oriental little guy whose correct English told you it was a doctor. I had him figured wrong from the beginning.
Mr. Braun? Mr. Kenneth Braun?
Yeah, that's right.
My name is Lee. Lee Tung, if you prefer.
I don't.
May I join you?
Sure, Lee. Pull up a buck for a couple of drinks and sit down.
Certainly. Here.
Al, same thing here.
Okay.
What's yours, Lee?
Nothing, thank you. I do not indulge.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Al.
Sure thing.
Well, Lee, I've got the bait. Set your hook. What's on your mind?
You were pointed out to me as a man who knows boats.
Just like the Navy.
And also as a man who might be induced to gamble.
Well, I can't contradict.
But if you will pardon me, as a man who is more than casually devoted to drink,
I can take it or leave it. At the moment, my mood says take it. Your health, Lee.
Yes, but for that one failing, Mr. Brown, I could offer very interesting and profitable proposals.
Mr. Lee, it is considered very poor taste in the Occident to proffer drinks with strings attached. A good day.
Oh, no, one moment, please. Forgive me. I was going to add a failing which we could overlook if it were to be controlled for a short time.
I said I could take it or leave it.
I am in the pearl business. Do you know anything about pearls, Brown?
Yeah. An oyster gets a hold of a bad grain of sand, then he or she or it gets an ulcer. Bingo, a pearl.
Perhaps we should take it up at another time. I am stopping at the Case Hotel. Good night, Brown. And come see me if you should reconsider.
Okay, Lee. But don't wait up. I hate the warm feeling of elegance that takes me over after the fifth drink. I hate myself. I hate morning. Worst of all, I hate waking up without a little hair of the dog and not a nickel in the poke to supply it. Out of the fog of remorse came a stolid little Oriental face. Yeah, there's a generous soul. Pearls, he said. Well, that should be a nice, substantial little proposition. Yeah. Maybe I am ready to talk business.
Brown, I did not expect to see you. Come in. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about a business proposal.
Yes, I did.
Hotel rooms depress me, Lee. Could we get down to the bar and talk it over?
Oh, certainly, Brown. If you prefer.
I prefer. You mentioned something about the pearl business.
Yes, Brown. I didn't think. That is, I thought that might have slipped your mind.
Well, things aren't that bad, Lee. Tell me more.
Oh, we could be very useful to each other, Brown. I have the information on the equipment. You have the experience without which the equipment is useless to me.
Yeah.
We can turn an enormous profit in very short time.
Uh-huh.
I have just completed a transaction whereby I become owner of small ship equipped with certain scientific devices for probing the ocean floor.
Sonar equipment.
I believe that is the name.
I hate to disillusion you, Lee, but you can't bounce an echo off an oyster. It'll never work.
That is not my intention.
Well, then, how does sonar equipment fit into the pearl business?
These pearls, a great fortune in pearls, are all in one package. Ours, for the taking.
Salvage?
Yes. I fell heir to chart upon the untimely death of a friend. On that chart is indicated the position of a vessel sunk during the war somewhere between the Sulu archipelago and the northeast coast of Borneo.
Yeah.
I have reason to know that on board at the time of the sinking was the personal fortune of a certain sultan, as well as the assets of his constituents. There was one survivor.
And you hope to locate that vessel with this sounding gear?
I do.
Well, what about getting the stuff up after it's located?
I also have diving equipment.
And you want somebody who knows how to operate the gear?
Precisely.
What's your deal?
I am prepared to offer you 1/4 of any treasure we may locate.
For that consideration, I could offer about 1/2 of what I know about your equipment.
I don't understand.
For a 50-50 share of any loot, I could offer 100% cooperation.
Oh, I see. Brown, you are shrewd. It surprises me you are not more prosperous. All right. 50-50, as you say.
All right, you've got yourself a boy. To you, partner. Now, one for the road, and we'll go look at your ship. Okay, partner?
Okay, partner.
Lee's stubby forefinger pointed a great circle course across the harbor to a little tub laying with her forward quarter scraping paint against the can of her mooring. She was from the orphan fleet of subchasers pressed into service out of desperation during the war. About 100 feet, built to roll in a 20-foot beam. Some dreamer had her rigged for fishing. She still mounted an A-frame, outriggers, and a cargo boom aft. Lee didn't speak of her with the pride of an owner.
There it is. The one with the blunt end toward us.
Well, when can we go aboard?
I have the papers. We can take possession immediately.
What kind of shape is the power plant in?
I'm really not qualified to say. I know nothing of ships. But I am sure she will need work before we... What is it you say? Cast out?
Yeah. Well, give me 2 days to work over the plant, and I'll have her ship taped and shaken down. If she's standard, she's got 2 671s on the generators and 2 pancakes on the main plant. A couple of spare injectors and some baling wire will see her to Timbuktu.
You will need a crew, won't you? An inexpensive crew.
Yeah, a couple of hands to do the dirty work. We could get by with one if you could take a turn at the wheel.
Perhaps I can learn. Yes, perhaps I can learn to drive the ship.
Good. I'll line up a hand. These waterfront bars are full of guys looking for a chance to go fishing.
Oh, you seem to understand what I want, Brown. I will leave everything to you. You may reach me at my hotel.
Okay. The next time you see her, she'll be overhauled, provisioned, and manned. So long, Lee. See you in 48 hours. She was in surprisingly good shape. The batteries charged right up on the generators. Her
The oil was clean, and the linkage tight. I replaced the corroded condenser on the sonar gear, pressure checked the diving suit, and put new pistons in the compressor. One straight 24-hour shift, and she was shaken down and ready for a cruise. I set out to meet my man on common ground. I found him being escorted out of Casey's bar by Casey himself.
You'd better get some salt back before you start something in my place. Let go. Now get along with you. Let go. Don't be coming back. You brother of a pig.
Oh, what's the matter, sailor? Slippery deck?
You be quiet or I stick you.
All right. Stow the ship, kid. The jails are too full now.
I'm going to kill that pig. Get out of my way.
All right, stay out of there, kid. And stow the knife.
Good. Still get that fat pig someday.
You're new around here, aren't you?
I know that.
Well, you wouldn't tangle with Casey if you weren't. Where are you from?
Ensenada. I have papers. In my room, I have papers.
I didn't ask. You didn't ask me either. But I'd advise you to get rid of that knife. With a temper like yours, you can cut yourself off a life sentence.
So far, this knife knows only the blood of fish. I've never been kicked by a fish.
I can use a man who can handle a knife. You working?
No.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
All right.
And what's your name?
Costa. Senor Guillermo de la Costa.
Okay, Tony. 2 double shots later, I had my man. A pathetic little guy with no roots in a barren world. I set him to stowing provisions while I cleared the paper and gold braid department of the Commerce Building and picked up a couple of 100 fathoms of useless shark net to flake out for effect. Then I called Lee. He was impressed.
You have accomplished a lot in very short time, Brown. You must have worked day and night.
Yeah, I can sleep underway.
Where is your crew?
Below. He's stowing provisions in the galley.
I see. Does he meet our specification?
Exactly. Good back was not too much above it, except a nasty temper.
Good. He thinks he's going fishing here. Does that explain these nets?
Partly, Lee. Also, there's an unwritten law of the sea that gives fishing craft a wide berth.
Clever, Brown. Very clever.
Practical.
Is everything in first-class condition?
Everything. The diving gear is tight and the sonar readings stick right on the nose of the chart.
Then we are ready to cast off?
Anytime.
Then let us go. Head about west-southwest, Brown. Right into the sun. Right into the sun.
In just a moment, we will continue with Escape. But first, Groucho Marx, Bing Crosby, Dr. Christian, and George Burns and Gracie Allen will be back with you tomorrow night on most of these same CBS stations. Escape.
3 weeks at sea taught me a lot about my friend Lee. His switch from landlubber to competent mariner was too fast to be convincing. Something about the whole setup spoiled the taste of my whiskey. The only way it figured was that he really did need me to operate the gear. Beyond that, the picture changed. From the first day out, he showed too much interest in the sonar equipment.
Brown, I think it might be prudent if you were to teach me the operation of this instrument. Is it very difficult, just their operation?
Oh, it's something anyone can pick up in 5 or 6 months of full-time instruction.
Surely not to learn just the operation of it.
Well, it's not only complicated, Lee, but delicate. I think we'd be wise to keep it secured until we need it.
Perhaps. Yes, perhaps. It won't be very long, Brown.
When are you going to break out the charts with the position of the stuff?
In due time, Brown.
Well, I'll need it when we start taking soundings.
Then you shall have it. It wouldn't be prudent to surrender a chart that I have been forced to defend with my very life, would it, Brown?
I get your point.
I might add, Brown, that the chart alone is useless to anyone but me. The exact position is not indicated. I took the precaution of committing it to memory. lest the chart should be misplaced. The only value of the chart is that it indicates bounding lines.
That makes your position clear enough. What about Costa? Do you think he might be dangerous when he finds out what we're really after?
For a man to be dangerous, he must first be intelligent. Costa is ignorant, he will stay ignorant.
Sooner or later, he's going to get wise.
Fortunately, Costa is not equipped to get wise, as you say. He is happy in ignorance. We will not expose him to the curse of greed.
What's your plan?
To turn the wheel of fortune to our own needs. We must be practical, Brown. A person such as Costa leaves little impression on the world. He will never be missed if he were to disappear. Fate will save him from the curse of greed.
The late afternoon of the 22nd day, I saw Lee's methods put into practice. Cold, efficient, ruthless practice. It happened so fast, I was helpless to do anything about it. Costa was splayed out on the nets near the stern, sound asleep, when Lee appeared from nowhere. Without warning, Lee let fly a vicious kick. Costa's blade flashed. Lee stood motionless until Costa closed. Then Lee grabbed Costa's knife hand and whirled, twisting Costa's arm into a lever and using the momentum of his rush, tossed him effortlessly over the rail to disappear in the swirling wake. Without even glancing astern, Lee gave me the arm signal for straight ahead, a signal that pointed accusingly at me, screaming, "Accomplice." His face was still frozen in trance-like serenity when he appeared on the bridge.
It is now you and I, Brown.
Yeah.
These things are distasteful, but on the other hand, Brown, life itself can be distasteful.
Wasn't there some other way to handle it? Couldn't we have put him off somewhere on the island?
Your whole life in too high esteem, Brown. We could have put him off at some island, but then, Brown, we would have had to wonder about his welfare. Now his troubles are over. He has peace. He no longer has to struggle, as you and I.
He didn't have much chance to struggle, did he, Lee?
He was not one to struggle intelligently, Brown. Struggling, not directed by intelligence, can destroy.
Where does strength, muscle fit into your theory?
If you will pardon a personal reference, Brown, I long ago subscribed to the teachings of an Eastern cult which believes that the intellectual neutralizes the physical. Therefore, there is no difference in stature among men, only a difference in mental power. We do not destroy. We merely expedite the adversary's self-destruction by his own weakness.
Costa's temper, huh?
Exactly. One does not think in temper. He merely acts, and so destroys himself. Do I make myself clear?
Well, not especially, but I'll think it over. Lee's insidious philosophy began to prey on my mind. I knew I was on the last leg of a one-way trip. I knew he was perfectly competent to take over the ship at any time, but I still felt reasonably safe. It would take 2 men to handle instruments to locate the pearls, and beyond that, 2 men to get the stuff up. After that, I would worry about my failings and which one Lee would pick to destroy me. I eliminated the big one by tossing my last 2 bottles of whiskey overboard. We were cruising somewhere between the lower Sulu archipelago and the northeast corner of Borneo when Lee broke out a dog-eared chart of Dutch origin.
Cut it back, Brown. Now, somewhere within the radius of this circle, our fortune waits to be taken.
Now, let's see. The charts indicate a sandy bottom, and that's good. The currents go southwest. He falls off the deeper water to the south.
I understand the charts, Brown. Start the soundings, man.
Okay, I'll start here. At the 60-fathom line and work toward shallower water. You stand at the bow with a smoke flare. If I pick up anything, heave a flare over to mark it, okay?
I prefer to stay on the bridge with you, Brown.
Yeah, that way we can watch the instruments and each other. Okay, partner. I worked each depth line half a mile from the point Lee established as center, staying parallel to the soundings indicated on the chart. 3 times over the area showed nothing but a uniform bottom. Then I took a new tack. I set the wheel in a tight circle and secured it with a lanyard. I figured the current and the torque of the shaft would take us far enough off-center on each spiral that we wouldn't miss anything big enough to register. I was beginning to think in circles when the scope showed a fast drop and then wavered erratically. Lee must have read it in my face.
It showed something, didn't it? We have found something, haven't we, Brown?
Maybe.
What are you going to do?
Back it down and check it.
Oh, no. No. Drop the anchor. We won't move. We'll take no chances of losing it. Drop the anchor.
I settled her bow into the current, dropped the hook, and backed her down on the scope of the anchor chain until we were over the spot. Lee expertly rigged the line from the cargo boom to the cathead and hoisted the heavy diving gear out of the after hold. His expression left no question as to the division of labor.
Of course, you will make the dive, Brown.
Yeah.
We cannot risk losing a life when 2 men are necessary to complete this mission, can we?
Not your life, Lee. Yeah, I'll go down there. But just in case you have any ideas about letting my weaknesses destroy...
Oh, come now, Brown. You're not falling prey to the curse of greed, are you?
No. And I don't intend to fall prey to anything if I can help it.
You don't have faith in me.
That's right.
But you must have faith in me. We must work together.
Until we locate the stuff and get it up. After that, Lee, only one man is necessary. That's what worries me.
Are you afraid, Brown? Does fear number among your weaknesses?
Yeah, Lee, it does.
I don't know how to reassure you, Brown. Do you have solution?
Yeah, Lee, I do. My life is in your hands while I'm down there. Unfortunately for you, my life is the only link you have between the pearls and this ship.
Only a fool would break that link, Brown.
Lee's words echoed in my helmet as I felt myself being lowered from a sheave at the end of the cargo boom. Only a fool. I knew that I was pitted against a ruthless maniac. That finding the pearls meant that one of us would die. Yet some power greater than reason forced me on. A power I recognized as greed. My weighted feet settled on bottom. My headlight sent a glaring shaft through the murk, serving only to blind me. Then my eyes adapted. Strange shapes darted in and out of the beams, flashing big shadows. I pivoted slowly, straining my eyes to the burning point. Suddenly, the beam stopped short and reflected upward in a blinding glare. There she lay, a slimy hulk, stern down in the sand. Her stack and superstructure eroded away, and her plates hanging scab-like from her frame. A death ship washed clean by gentle currents. I headed for the quarterdeck and leaned on the crumbling vestiges of the hatch. It fell away. My light picked up a single object. There it lay, its corners worn round from shifting against the bulkhead. A teakwood chest. Brass bindings radiated from its single big hinge like the fingers of a giant hand. I felt a wave of desire grow into a surge of greed and resolve itself into an overpowering lust. I bent a line onto the chest and signaled Lee to haul me up. I felt as though I was threading my life away as I paid out the line that would link the treasure with the surface, knowing that only Lee's ignorance of what the other end held ensured my shedding the heavy diving suit safe on deck. That would put us on even footing. I lost the fear of Lee's methods and thought of my own. Methods based on greed that knows no compromise. Methods of killing to keep. Then my fears passed. He couldn't kill me until the chest was on deck. Lee was like a man waiting for sentence when I climbed out of the diving suit.
Where?
It's there.
Describe it. Describe the chest.
Solid wood bound in brass.
Is that all?
Brass hinges, like a hand.
That is it, Brown. The hand of Muhammad. My reward at last. The hand of Muhammad.
You mean our reward?
Of course. our reward.
For a brief second, we were two animals standing at bay, eye to eye, appraising, each waiting for the other to move. Then, as one, we saw through the cloud of greed. We still needed each other until the chest was on deck. Lee swung the boom-in board while I reeved the line attached to the chest through the eye of the sheave. He took the running end of the cathead and made a turn, his narrowed eyes fixed on me, waiting for the signal to haul away. His hands turned white, bloodless, as he gripped the line. I gave him the signal to haul in the line. Start it easy, Lee, and take it slow all the way. We'll stop it at the surface to keep the weight off the line. The line threaded through the sheave endlessly as time while I strained to catch the first glimpse of any bulk in the water. Again, I felt the surge of greed I'd experienced below. Unconsciously, I drew my sleeve across my mouth. A dark and distorted mass showed beneath the surface.
Slow it down, Lee. She's going. Slow it down, Lee. Slack off. You break your line. Slack off.
Lee was out of control. The heavy chest lost the buoyancy of the water. The strand of the line snapped and shot a ragged end up to the block. But it was too late. The chest hit the block and the line snapped, crashing the waterlogged wood against the ragged metal of the topside. Brass fingers of the giant hand opened grotesquely, spewing a shower of tumbling beads over the surface of the water.
Oh, you fool! You American fool!
There they are, Lee. Look at them float down. Your little white seeds of greed.
You will die. You idiot!
You felt the pearls at the end of that line, Lee. They were in your greedy little hands and you couldn't let go. You couldn't slack off on the line. You couldn't let go, could you? So the hand of Mohammed sowed the ocean with little seeds of greed.
You will pay with your life.
Oh, all right, intelligent one. There are no odds. Pick a weakness and destroy me. Take your choice. Come on.
You will die, dog.
He came toward me slowly. Then he drew back, right foot poised. I was ready for it, but instead of the kick, his thumb shot out at my eyes, pushing jagged nerve ends right into my brain. Blind instinct told me to swing while I knew where he was.
You'll die.
Not yet, Lee. How do you like that, Lee? Stopped by a blind right fist. And this, how do you like this, Lee? How do you like my palm? How do you like a mashing into your master's throat? You're getting weaker, Lee. Weaker. Oh, where's your mental power now, Lee? Gone, is it? Yes. Tropical Pacific. Gentle Pacific, rocking me to death in a cradle of rusty steel. Maybe it's spring, or summer, or day, or night. The breeze is gentle. Scents are soothed. My eyes no longer pain. Yeah, it's gentle. Such gentleness. Such maddening, unbearable gentleness. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Seeds of Greed by Floyd A. Nelson. Featured in the cast were Gary Merrill as Brown, Ben Wright as Lee, Bill Conrad as Casey, and Tony Barrett as Costa. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are sitting unarmed in an early California boomtown saloon. Across the table from you is a man who has just murdered your brother and who holds in his hand a new and terrible weapon from which there is no escape.
Next week, we escape with an exciting tale of the California gold camp, as Les Crutchfield tells it in his gripping story, The Pistol. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Groucho Marx, and who will quarrel when you label him a very funny fellow, will be back on most of these same CBS stations tomorrow night with his deliriously wonderful quiz show, You Bet Your Life. You'll find Groucho's unlike any other quiz you ever heard. So join us on CBS tomorrow night for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. Now stay tuned for Hit the Jackpot, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The American Broadcasting Company Radio Network presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are on Neptune, following the criminal Ralph Bolger into a deserted factory building. An invisibility transmitter concealed outside enables them to trail Bolger through the solid walls of a huge metal tank.
Oh, it sure is dark in here.
Now's a chance to close in on Bolger. When you step through the other side of the tank, rush her.
Yes, sir. Hey! Oh! Commander, the wall is solid. We can't get through.
Nothing happened with the invisibility field transmitter. We're sealed inside the tank.
We'll be back in a moment with the thrilling story, Escape from Neptune. The children in American families will receive things like bikes, trains, dolls, books for Christmas. But there are many children in the world today who would be happy if they had enough to eat on Christmas Day. Thousands of children in Europe, Asia, South America, the Philippines, and Korea are suffering from inadequate food, lack of clothing, and cramped living quarters. Include these children on your gift list. For $1, CARE will send 28 pounds of food abroad in your name to an orphanage or a needy family. If you can spare more than $1, fine. Send your contribution to Food Crusade, CARE, C-A-R-E, CARE, New York, to any local CARE office or to CARE through any Railway Express agency. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, Escape from Neptune. For several weeks, a feeling of insecurity and fear has been spreading throughout the United Planets. Despite the relentless efforts of Commander Corey and the Space Patrol, a master criminal continues to strike where he pleases, under the protection of an electronic device that renders him invisible. At the present moment, the criminal Ralph Bolger is making use of a temporarily inactive factory building in the capital city of the planet Neptune. Bolger stands glowering down at an elderly man who lies exhausted on a crude bike.
You had enough rest, Rayburn. Get back to work.
I can't work anymore, Bolger. I'm completely worn out. Let me alone, please.
Now you listen to me. I've got to have another invisibility field transmitter right away. I only got one before he captured the other one. Now get up and into the workshop. I've had enough of your stubborn attitude. If you think Corey's going to rescue you, forget it. The Space Patrol isn't even looking for you. Sure, isn't it? Corey thinks I stole your invisibility equipment, and then I got rid of you. That is right. Your life depends on one thing, Rayburn. Your usefulness to me. Now, get busy and finish the transmitter.
I couldn't even if I wanted.
Why not?
There's not enough I don't. Just the key to the invisibility side.
Just tell me where to get it.
It's not like ordinary materials. You just can't go out and buy it or steal it. It has to be manufactured. Made from one of the rare earths under tremendous heat and pressure. I've never made more than 5 pounds of this stuff.
How much of that 5 pounds have you used? Come on, tell me.
In the case, the picture has to be ground down with the braces.
And there is still about 3.5 pounds of vibronium in existence.
Perhaps, but I don't know where it is.
Who worked with you on that invention?
No.
Don't lie to me! A moment ago, you said we never made more than 5 pounds of that stuff. Now, who is he?
It was some time ago. I don't remember. I've had a lot of different assistants over the years.
Well, John, you don't remember we worked with an invention as important as this?
Yes.
You got to have help to build a transfer. Someone who knows what they are doing. I'm going to bring that assistant of yours here to Neptune City.
No, you can't do that.
You are going to write a letter. It's the only way you can save your life.
In his central office at Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, Commander Corey cuts off the intercom and turns to Cadet Hap.
Hap, that was the former associate, Professor Rayburn. Have you got it handy?
Yes, sir. It's right here.
You can cross off number 23.
23. That's Lanine Harvey.
Yes. Out of a whole list of 40 people, she's the only one who's been interested enough to call here in person.
Yeah. So far, the best we've got is a note from a former student that saw Professor Rayburn 3 years ago.
How to get about things like that. Okay, come on. Miss Harvey? Miss Harvey, this is Cadet Hap.
How do you do?
How do you do, Miss Harvey? Pleased to find you.
Thank you, Commander. I'll tell you why I came here. I received this letter yesterday. It's in Professor Rayburn's handwriting.
Dear Lanine, I've reached the point in my work where only you can help me. You will realize the nature of my experience, and I ask you to bring every step about joining you can lay your hands on. Please tell no one about this. And at once. Are you sure this is his handwriting?
Positive.
Part of his pages in China.
Yes, I did. I was in dress in Neptune City. I memorized it and then tore it off and destroyed it.
Do you know anything about the fact that Professor's invisibility field transmitters have been used in a series of crimes?
Oh, no.
Miss Harvey, Professor's life is in danger. If you follow the instructions in that letter, you can lead us to Ralph Bolger and possibly save the Professor's life, but at the risk of your own.
What's the alternative?
That's the address of Neptune City. That's quite a surprise for you.
You'd be more sure of success if I helped. Is that it?
Yes. With a concealed miniature space plane, let us know the layout. If it's like our villagers outside.
All right, Commander. I'll keep the appointment.
I warn you that you're being considered dangerous, Harvey.
I know. But if I go to Neptune City, I'll be in danger a certain time and place. If I don't go, I'll never be safe anywhere or any time.
Until Bolger's tested, it's true of that. Thank you, Miss Harvey. I'll get a miniature space plane for you, then you can proceed to Neptune City. In his hideout in Neptune City, Ralph Bolger received a space plane call from Chip Getman, one of his agents on Terra.
We'll be on the Green Star Special, Bolger. That'll bring her to Neptune tomorrow about 1300 hours.
Has she contacted anyone?
I don't think so. Spent a couple of hours at the Scientific Library. Came out a different exit than I was.
For how long?
Not more than 20 minutes. I picked her up again on Terra Boulevard, the United Planets Park.
Yeah, that is right near Space Patrol headquarters.
Yeah. Now,
She could have visited headquarters.
might have, but she didn't act like it.
That's a brilliant remark, Getman. Just how does a person behave after he has been in Space Patrol headquarters? Is there something different about him?
Well, no. What I meant was...
Listen, Getman. We are going to change our plans slightly. If Lanine Harvey talks to Corey, he may be watching that address here in Neptune City.
So what? You'll be invisible and so will I be.
Corey has one of those field transmitters. We'll have to get the girl before she gets to that address. Can you get to Neptune before she dies?
Sure. If I blast off right away.
Well, do that. I'll put the invisibility transmitter in a surface car and meet you at Neptune City Spaceport. We'll grab the girl before she gets anywhere near the place where she expects to meet Rayburn.
Several hours later, a surface car moves slowly along the street in Neptune City. Both the car and the two men in it are invisible to the throngs along the busy thoroughfare. Moreover, the field generated by the transmitter enables them to pass through matter in its normal state. Thus, the stream of traffic is completely unaware of the existence of the invisible car and its occupants. Slow down a little, Getman. The girl is stopping to look in the store window.
near the landmark. He's heading right toward the car.
Stop the car. Do not touch that field transmitter. It's set just the way I want it.
Several blocks away and near the address given them by Lenine Harvey, Buzz and Happy keep close watch on an apartment building through electronic spectacles. Like Bolger and Gettner, they, too, are in a surface car made invisible by an ultra-vibration transmitter.
Miss Harvey should be here pretty soon, isn't he? Yes. Now, remember, Hap, you don't move until she's inside and has a chance to let us know the setup. Well, suppose Bolger stays with her and doesn't give her a chance to use the space account. We can tell a lot by the time we see her. Just to know how many we've got to fight.
Let go of me! Let go of me!
Hey, it's Miss Harvey. She's in trouble now. Bolger steps in than I expected. I'll find out where she is.
Help me, someone!
No one is distracted to see you were here.
Bolger.
You're hurting me!
Then stop jumping. Come on, get in the car.
He must have grabbed her right on the street.
What have you done to my eyes? I can't see.
You are invisible with special electronic spectacles. Now, into that car.
You can't.
Well, that's the razor.
I was going to use this.
Now, then, waiting in the factory field, it is not part of the city. Let's go, Gettner. How do we get to the factory? We just go straight out on Draco Boulevard. It's a Draco and Gamma.
Draco and Gamma, let's go, Hap. Yes, sir.
Protected by the invisibility field, Buzz and Happy drive to the deserted factory building at Draco and Gamma. Their electronic spectacles enable them to see another car perform the amazing feat of passing through a solid fence. Swiftly, Buzz adjusts the field of their own transmitter. Then he and Happy get out of the car.
There's Bolger, and he's got Miss Harvey. I'm heading toward the building. But there was another man in the car. The man in the car can't see us, even if he's wearing electronic spectacles. What we've got to do is follow Bolger and the girl. Right now. Bolger's carrying his portable transmitter into the building. Well, there they go, right through the wall. That's going to have to keep them in sight. Here's where they step to the wall. Be ready to rush Bolger. He's leading her toward that big storage tank. They're walking right through the tank. It's sure dark in here. And they step through the other side of the tank. Rush Bolger. Yes, sir. The wall is solid. We can't get through. Something happened to the invisibility field transmitter. We're sealed inside the tank.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. The United States has seen many changes in the past dozen years, all pointing to a still better way of living. Millions more Americans are working, earning more, saving more. We're eating more and eating better. More young people are going to high school and college. More of us are getting paid vacations. More of us are enjoying the luxuries of life. Sports, radio, television, the theater, concerts. Church attendance and membership has climbed steadily upward. In addition to these material and spiritual changes have come the miracles of jet propulsion, supersonic flight, antibiotics. The better you know America, the better the future looks. Write for the free booklet, The Future of America, Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York, 17. Now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, Escape from Neptune. Ralph Bolger and his accomplice, Chip Gettner, have captured Lenine Harvey and have taken her to a deserted factory in Neptune City, where they intend to force her to build invisibility field transmitters. Buzz and Happy were following Bolger and his captive through the metal walls of a huge storage tank. Suddenly, the electronic field was cut off, and the space patrollers found themselves sealed inside the tank. Now, in another part of the factory building, Ralph Bolger unlocks the door and thrusts Lenine into a room.
Get in there!
Lenine? Mr. Rope.
You two probably have a lot to talk about, so I'll leave you together for a while.
Force me to write that letter, Lenine.
I understand.
And there is something else you are going to understand. Both of you. You are here for just one purpose. To build invisibility transmitters. I will be back in a few minutes.
You have no idea the thing is so
Please, Professor, I don't blame you. Right now we've got to think of a way to help Commander Troy. He's in a worse fix than we are. Yes, we thought of that. Roger and his friend get in the field of command in a big storage tank. I don't know what they were up to until it was too late. I was found inside the tank. I realized the commander was in prison. I think Cadet Happy's in there with him.
That's a large tank. It could survive for some time,
Unless what?
Tank can be filled with gas. There's a compression chamber next to the tank filled with flammatory.
Flammatory? That's deadly poison.
It doesn't occur to Bozer to turn that valve.
He's stunned. I saw him while we were near the tank. I clicked the valve as he walked past. I didn't think about it. How much time have we got? Yes, to save the commander.
It can survive 10 or 15 minutes, perhaps. I can't get out of this room. I know. I've tried it.
We've got the field transmitter.
It's no good without the belts. We couldn't walk through the wall unless we were wearing belts with the control units turned on.
The commander and the cadet are wearing belts. That's how they got into the tank in the first place. If we could focus the field toward them...
It's worth a try.
Quick, Professor. Turn on the transmitter.
How long have we been trapped here, sir?
About 10 minutes, I'd say.
It seems like hours. It was 15:40 when we pulled up outside the factory, and now it's... Hey, sure, I can't even see the dial on my watch. It's so dark.
The dial's luminous. Happy you should be able... That's strange. I can't see my watch either.
Maybe the gas has affected our eyes.
Have you got your electronic goggles on?
No, sir. I slipped them up on my forehead. Now I can see the watch. It's 15:52.
We couldn't see the dial because we're inside an invisibility field. Somebody turned on a transmitter.
Hey, then we can get out of here.
On your feet, Hap, quick.
We made it.
Maybe might be close by.
Yeah. What's the matter? I'm blacking out.
It's a shock of pure air. Like gas in the tank.
There's no shape to look for Bolger.
We'll hide behind that stack of supplies till we recover. Can you make it?
I don't think so.
Well, relax, huh?
I hope we got it focused right, Professor.
I think so. The trouble is, in that dark tank, they might not know the field is on. With that gas pouring in...
Please, Professor.
Wait. Your space balloon. You can tell them. Why didn't we think of that before?
I did think of it. I didn't dare turn it on unless Bolger and his partner are here with me.
Yes, I see what you mean. If they have space of one, I happen to be near the commander, your voice would give away the whole thing.
Someone's coming. What about the field transmitter?
They're coming. So you see, Lenny, all I did was devise circuits to combine and control the effects you and I discovered years ago.
Well, I'm glad to see you have decided to cooperate. Wait a minute. Is that thing on?
I was merely demonstrating to Miss Harvey the sequence of operations.
Shut it off, quick!
Of course, if you say so.
I wouldn't want the field to penetrate the storage tank, although it wouldn't make any difference now.
Well, what do you mean?
You didn't know it, Miss Harvey, but Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are in the tank. You'll never be troubled by Corey again.
Did you go inside the tank?
With all the poisonous gas in there? Don't be foolish. Now, come with me, both of you.
Where are you taking us?
We are blasting off for Saffron. Gettner has taken the field transmitter out of the commander's car. Now, I will take this one, and we will go to the spaceport.
Roger, listen. The professor's very ill. Acceleration of the space flight would be dangerous.
I never thought of that. Rayburn, now that we have two complete transmitters as models, do you think Miss Harvey could do the work alone? Answer me!
Of course I could.
Splendid. Then there is no use taking a useless old man along.
Let the professor go through.
I cannot have him running to the space patrol until we are safely away from Neptune. And this ought to keep him quiet for a few hours.
You big boy. Stretching an old man.
If you give me any trouble, Miss Harville, you will get the same treatment. Now, let's go. You lock the door. I have a ray gun in one hand and the transmitter in the other.
You can't lock him in here. He'll never get out.
Oh, the space patrol will probably find him in a few hours when they come looking for Corey. Now, do as you're told. Come on. Gettner is waiting in the car.
Fully recovered from their ordeal in the storage tank, Buzz and Happy carefully searched the factory building.
That place seems unnaturally quiet, sir.
No invisibility field. I think Bojan is probably took the two factories and got around.
I've been hoping their spacephones would come to light with a message from Miss Harvey.
Try this one here. I'll cover you with a radio.
Yes, sir. It's locked. Smoking rockets.
Professor Rayburn. Commander.
Yes, sir.
Lenine. They're taking her to Saturn. Bojan and Gettner. They thought you were in the tank. They're taking Lenine to Saturn. Where on Saturn? I don't know. Professor, did Miss Harvey mention the miniature spacephone? Yes. Does she still have it? She didn't. Bojan took her away. She was afraid to use it. Professor will take you to a hospital. And you'll blast off for Saturn.
With Professor Rayburn safely in a doctor's care, Buzz and Happy rushed to the Terra 5 and launched themselves into space toward the planet Saturn.
Not a sign of a ship in the viewscope, sir.
Bojan might have made his ship invisible.
And how are we ever going to find them?
We probably won't find them out in space. After they land on Saturn, they'll have to shut off that transmitter sometime. And every city on Saturn has been alerted.
Attention, any space explosion. This is an emergency.
It's Miss Harvey.
You've taken care of that signal, huh?
Yes, sir.
Space patrol unit. This concerns Commander Corey. Mission Sheridan.
We must be close to Boja's ship to pick up that signal.
From the space phone transmitter, that special frequency. Commander Corey calling Lenine Harvey. Commander Corey calling Lenine Harvey.
Commander, you're alive.
Yes, thanks to you. Professor Rayburn told us how you focused the beam on the storage tank.
Professor, is he all right?
Yes, he's resting at Neptune City Hospital. Now, let's see what we can do about you. You're in Boja's ship, right?
Yes. And nav compartment on the starboard side. I hope they can't hear the space phone.
No, not unless they suspect something and tune to this special frequency. Have to get a fix on the Lenine signal.
Yes, sir.
Boja's ship is invisible, I suppose.
Yes. They're headed for Saturn. That's all I know.
Well, just follow these instructions and we'll be able to find you. Hold your spacephone against the bulkhead of your compartment. Then you'll be transmitting the vibrations of the rocket exhaust. You'll follow the signal and overtake the ship.
Yes, Commander. But then what? The field on the two ships is entirely different types of matter.
I'll put on a spacesuit and jump from this ship to Boja's. Once I'm inside the invisibility field, my vibration rate will be the same as yours.
Yes, that's true.
And I can come in through the airlock with an atomic torch if necessary.
Commander, if something goes wrong...
We've talked long enough, Miss Harvey. Put the spacephone against the bulkhead.
All right, Commander. And good luck.
I've got it fixed, Commander. We're gaining on Boja.
Good. Keep the ship on course, Hap. I'll get into a spacesuit.
I tell you, Boja, that's Corey's ship. That's Corey's ship, all right. But that doesn't mean he's in it. The Space Patrol probably searched the factory and found old man Rayburn. He tells them we're headed for Saturn. Corey is still in the tank.
Maybe.
Look at that ship. If it was any closer, it would pass right through it. What if it does? This is a different state of matter than we are. See? Now, shooting clear ahead of us. If the pilot only knew how close he came to us.
Still something funny about it.
With all of empty space to fly in, that ship followed us like a dog chasing a rabbit to a hollow log. But obviously, no one in the ship saw it. In a few minutes, it will be out of sight.
Boja, that girl back there.
Suppose she could have signaled a space patrol? How could she? She's locked up.
I'm going back out to make sure.
All right, Gettner.
Something funny's going on here. I can feel it.
What are you doing?
But nothing.
Hide something. Hold your hands out in front of you. I said hold your hands out.
Oh, you're hurting
Let me
me.
see those hands. Well, that's how Corey's ship follows. When I get through with you, you won't be able to move, let alone talk. Let go of her, Captain.
Commander,
It's a little awkward fighting in a spacesuit. I'll take it off before I go up after Bolger.
can I do anything to help?
Yes. Keep getting his ray gun, keep an eye on him. When I get out of this suit, we'll lock him in the compartment.
Well, Getner, did you and Miss Harvey had a nice chat? How is our charming prisoner?
Just fine, thanks.
Yeah, that's good. And as you can see, that other ship is... Corey!
Get away from those controls.
Getner, help! Please, I had enough.
Square, Bolger. We're saving a couple to pay you for those 10 minutes in your couch. Mind if I use this space up now? Commander Corey calling Cadet Happy. Commander Corey calling Cadet Happy. Happy here, sir. Everything is under control at this end. Set a vector to return to Neptune City. I'll bring in Getner and Bolger. Very good, sir. I still can't see you in the viewscope. I'll cut off the invisibility field. Now, how's that? Fine, sir. How's Lenine?
Okay. He's back aft guarding Getner. Bolger's up here, but he's not saying that. I guess he finally realizes that this is the end of his career as the Invisible Man.
Well, not quite, sir. Where he's going, nobody's going to see him for a long time.
A preview of next week's Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Boys and girls, we have a special announcement. Buzz and Happy with the Space Patrol group have just made some exciting records on the planet Terra, telling of their early adventures in the Space Patrol, how Buzz Corey became Commander-in-Chief, and the thrilling story that made him choose Happy as his personal cadet. The records have been flown to Earth in the Terra 5, and you can get them at your favorite record counter. Just ask for the Space Patrol Adventure Story. And now a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz is at the controls of a strange spaceship in another galaxy, with Happy nearby in the Terra 5. In contact by miniature spaceophone, they plan the rescue of a fellow Space Patrol pilot.
That enemy ship is gaining on Northfield, Commander. If I pulled ahead now, maybe I could draw him off.
No, Happy, get you and Northfield both. I'd stand a better chance than you because I'm in an enemy ship.
That's great. He'll think you're his buddy.
Stick close, Hap, as though the Terra 5 were still captured.
Yes, sir. If we can keep that guy fooled for a few minutes more, we can rescue Northfield. Uh-oh. Hey, Commander, this is terrible.
What is it, Happy?
I just picked up the enemy commander's spacephone channel. He knows we've escaped. Just gave that enemy pilot orders to blast both our ships.
Be with us next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, The Lost Galaxy. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Bella Kovach, and Ken Mayer. Lee Zimmer speaking. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday at the same time for exciting adventure on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.